Hello, everyone, and welcome on in to Unbroken, an Age of Umbra story set in the Daggerheart RPG. This is a one-shot that we are running today that I'm very excited to be able to do. This is actually our very first time playing Daggerheart. If you don't know what Daggerheart is, it is a system that's been created by Darrington Press, which is the publishing arm of Critical Role. So if you may have heard of Daggerheart once or twice. They're currently going through their Age of Umbra campaign frame that's written by Matthew Mercer, which we are using for inspiration for our story today. I am Steve Saylor. I am going to be your game master for today. A little bit about myself. I'm an accessibility advocate and consultant in the video game industry, and now actually branching into the tabletop side of gaming as well for accessibility. I'm a Twitch ambassador, and also I'm the co-founder, or I'm actually I should say no, I'm the founder. I'd say co-founder. I run a show called Dungeons Disabled, which is a podcast slash YouTube channel where basically a bunch of nerdy disabled players sit down and play Dungeons and Dragons, or today, which is Daggerheart. You can be able to check out all our previous adventures at dungeonsanddisableds.com, or just search for Dungeons and Disableds in your favorite podcast player of choice, or on YouTube as well. And let me introduce our players today. So starting off with General Andrews. Why don't you introduce yourself and what you do on stream? Don't worry about character stuff. We'll get into that when we get into the game itself.
All right. Thank you so much, Steve. Well, I'm General Andrews, just like he said, and I do a lot of nostalgia-driven content. So I do a lot of retro gaming, retro aesthetic, retro adjacent. So we'll have discussions about video games, we'll have discussions about TV shows, movies, things of past years of yore, and we can kind of get lost in the sauce of those vibes, because, you know, every now and then this world's a little bit tough, and that's something we're also about to find out in this story. So before I continue to rant any longer, I also like to flex a lot. So if you need to see a few flexes in your evenings, go ahead and stop by the Dream Stream. All right.
Don't worry, they are registered weapons, so in the state of California, so we're totally fine. No legalities issues there. Thanks, Jen. Thor, why don't you introduce yourself?
There, everybody. My name is Thor Manganer. I'm a Twitch streamer who loves playing video games on alternative controllers such as actual potatoes. That's right, you heard that right. But also steering wheels, DK bongos, DDR pads, and whatever else your brain can come up with. We like to open up the conversation about accessibility in gaming by showing how you can think differently with your brain and play in ways that adapt to you and more. But I'm also one of the Twitch Black Unity Guild leaders for the Twitch Unity Guilds program, and I am all about uplifting marginalized people on the platform, creating inclusive spaces, and also neurodivergent ones as well. I'm ADHD as heck, and you'll often find that our conversations like to diverge into nerdy and fun and interesting topics, so make sure you stop on by, especially if you love some Star Trek, Pokemon, you know, all that jazz. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Cool. Mike, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Mike the Quad, and you can find me on Mike the Quad on all socials, and especially on Twitch. Not because I like to work out my legs, as my name would say. It would be actually quite the opposite. I am a quadriplegic, and everything that revolves around my work is about motor dexterity, especially with video games. And I like playing sweaty games like Marvel Rivals and Elden Ring Night Rain. And I have fun doing it, and I'm a little bit decent.
I was going to say, though, I think that it was very weird that you had that sponsorship for Standing Desk. So just saying. I mean, I think you might need to reorganize your sponsors. Anyway, thanks, Mike.
We'll change their name.
There you go. Last but certainly not least, Ellie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Ellie, or Elbel, spelled with a 3 because elite spelling. And Elbel was taken. Really, I think what any of us have done when we have put numbers in our names. I have ADHD, so does my content. We jump around a lot. We do a lot of different things. I talk a lot about accessibility. Motion sickness is a big one for me. So we talk a lot about kind of how to get around that, what kind of games are really great for dealing with motion sickness and that sort of thing. And the fact that we can jump around to 17 different topics in the course of 5 minutes. And yeah, that's it. And I stumble a lot on my words and things like this where I go and ah. So words are really, really hard, and we're here. And I'm very excited. We do a lot of tabletop RPGs, a lot of D&D. We talk about musicals. We talk about food. We play Magic the Gathering sometimes with some of these really cool, awesome people here. And love all things nerdy. So come just be your authentic self and that's it.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
You definitely don't want to go up against Ellie in a Bloomborough deck. Just saying.
I might bring my squirrels, and which Jen has learned.
I never knew squirrels were deadly until I met Ellie.
The only thing that my squirrel deck needs is reach, and then I'm unstoppable.
Damn. Okay.
Every cute creature she uses is destructive. It's unbelievable.
Jen knows that all too well. I feel like they're working in on some trauma with Jen a little
bunnies, otters, Moogle's next. I mean, everything. It's mayhem with her.
Okay, awesome. Speaking of things that are deadly, you're all ready to jump into our Age of Umbra story today?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I should also.
I'm saying yes now. I might rescind that in a
Yeah,
little bit.
I will allow you to reserve that yes or no for later as well.
Okay, thank you.
I should say as well, if you missed our session 0 that we did yesterday, you can actually be able to go check that out. It's available right now at dungeonsanddisabled.com or on our YouTube channel or on podcast platforms, and you can listen to the entire session 0 of how we built out our characters. We got to learn a little bit more about how Daggerheart works as a system. We'll be educating y'all on how Daggerheart works as we go throughout the game, because I'm learning and as well as y'all are learning. So this is going to be a learning educational process while telling a Souls-like, very hard mode story. I make no promises that there might be a TPK. Anywho, you want to again check that out, dungeonsdisabled.com for session 0. Other than that, I think we are ready to jump into Unbroken, an Age of Umbra story. Now, I'll read this first. This is actually coming from the Age of Umbra campaign frame, which you can find in the Daggerheart core rulebook, just to kind of give a bit of a flavor of kind of what you're going to experience as you're watching this story unfold. A century has passed since the god king Otheodus betrayed the Pantheon, provoking divine punishment and abandonment by the gods that left the realm of the Halcyon Domain shattered, desolate, and eternally cursed. Throughout this shadow-choked land of decaying fortresses and dreadful monstrosities, surviving communities cling to hope in the face of lightless oblivion. In an Age of Umbra campaign, you'll play heroic survivors who protect their community from the terrors beyond the walls, venture out into the unknown to hunt the nightmares that twist and grow with each fallen soul, seek answers to the curses that corrupt this world, and perhaps even discover a way to change its fate. If you're wondering kind of like the themes that we're going to be talking about today, the tone and feel is more kind of apocalypse. There's corruption, darkness versus light, hope, redemption, survival, and some inspirations for this campaign that Matt had created. It has a lot of Dark Souls. It has Berserk, Seventh Seal, and I should say that there might be some content warnings. There might be some themes and creatures and descriptions of monstrous type creatures and kind of more of a desolate type environment. So if that is something that you might be affected by, please watch or listen with caution. All right, I'll get into my own story now. In the century since the gods abandoned the land of the Halcyon Domain, not one person who survived hasn't seen a loved one ripped from this mortal world and become part of the Umbra, the unseen curse that is ever present as a punishment from the gods themselves. No one has truly felt what it's like and returned from it to describe it. But it's said more information can help make things less scary. So let's describe what becoming one of the Umbra will be like. First question I know you're asking is, how can you feel it? You're dead. That is true. But your soul feels every bit of the transformation, as your soul doesn't just go into the great beyond for eternal rest. No, The gods were so cruel in their punishment, death does not even give you relief. That light at the end of the tunnel is dark. That sight of past loved ones beckoning you to join them in everlasting peace, they pull you deeper into the void, never to surface again. First, your soul attempts to leave your body when it utters its last breath from your lungs. But inky black tendrils pull you back and wrap around you, holding your soul in place as you watch, but can't control your body when it rises from the ground with a never-ending hunger to devour the people you love and care for the most. You must watch as your loved ones scream in terror as they frantically try to destroy what once was a being capable of love and hope. Your soul cries out in anguish, but the sounds of the Umbra drowning your voice in chaos gets louder and louder as your body gets eviscerated and cut down as each blow pulls you closer and closer to being a part of the Umbra. You feel every bit, every cut, every pierce, blow, and magic spell as phantom pain as you cry in anguish. Then when your physical body cannot move anymore, those Umbra tendrils begin to seep into your light, seep into what was once precious and pure, the one thing the gods bestowed upon you during creation, so you can spend eternity being a part of the ever-glowing light on the divine plane. But so great was the power of the Umbra that black inky tendrils stretch and spread, devouring your divine gift. Your light dims. That spark of what made you you is becoming part of the collective of darkness. Slowly, the moaning and cries of hopelessness mixed with the screams of monsters from our nightmares consumes its next victim, making it hunger even more. You start to feel that hunger too. The moans become one voice: feed me. Once the last spark of life is extinguished and a black orb of nothingness is left in its place, there is no you anymore. You are the monster, the nightmare. Those tendrils that pulled you into the aether now physically manifest and grow as a new monstrous form of a prowling black and gray predator, as black ooze drips from your new form, leaving puddles of acidic blackness consuming everything as you sink into the ground, waiting patiently for the next soul to welcome into the Umbra. We now look over into the edge of a forest. We see 4 individuals just emerging from the dark overbrush of a massive, thick trees and bushes, and just it took a lot to be able to get out of this forest area, but they made it out, and they reach out to the edge of a cliff, looking down towards. They can see Amber Reach off in the distance, a large ruined city that once held the old world and was the beacon of hope and prosperity and light within the world of the Halcyon Domain. Now a former shell of itself, with its citizens as more victims of the Umbra within the Amber Reach. And I want someone, which I could either go, it doesn't matter, I think we're gonna do a group instinct check just to kind of see if you can be able to see what's down below. So the way we're gonna do this is, who wants to be able to lead this instinct roll out of the 4 of you?
Does anyone already have I'm a +0 as well.
I'm a +1.
+0. So Ellie, congratulations.
Okay, so this will be a group instinct, because you all are kind of like scanning the horizon and the cliff down below. But we're gonna have everyone roll basically just your hope and fear die. This is your duality die, and I want you to tell me what basically just a straight roll, what the total number is, and whether you rolled higher on hope or you rolled higher on fear. And this is before math. Ellie, before you roll. So I want Mike, Jen, and everybody else. Okay. Yeah, I want Mike, Jen, and then Thor to roll.
All right. So I got hope of 12 and fear of 5 for 17 total.
So 17 with hope. Okay.
I got 13 with hope.
13 with hope. Okay. By the way, you can actually get to mark your anytime you roll with hope. you get to mark a hope on your character sheet. So get to add that. That is the currency you get to spend within the game itself for special abilities and features and kind of other mechanics. So you can click on the little hope section to be able to add click the little plus to be able to add a hope for there. So we got a 17 with hope from Thor, 13 with hope from Jen. Mike, what did you get?
So total is 18, but I rolled higher on fear.
Okay. So Ellie, you will be adding +1 to your roll because Jen had failed, but then Mike had rolled with fear. So
I rolled a 13 + 1 is 14 with hope.
And you can actually add your instinct as your instinct plus
so
as
then
well.
+2. So then that would be 13 + 2 is 15 with hope.
15 with hope. Okay. So as you, Ellie, you can also mark yourself with a hope as well. And as you all look down towards the land below, again, you can see Amber reach off in the distance, but you do see a little community with what looks like a little spark of a flame. Those sparks are the sacred pyres that are throughout the land of the Halcyon Domain. Those sacred pyres for those who are seeking safety and refuge from the Umbra itself. Communities have popped up throughout the entire Halcyon Domain around these sacred pyres, which are tall, 12 to 15 foot tall bonfires that are constantly maintained by pyre keepers. And anyone who lives in or is around the vicinity of one of these sacred pyres is vulnerable to the Umbra. So the Umbra do not venture close to a sacred pyre. So throughout the Halcyon Domain, little tiny communities have popped up around these sacred pyres, basically kind of creating a little bit of a home for with relative safety within its walls. And you see one below with what looks to be probably a stone, either temple or some sort of tall building surrounding a bunch of makeshift sort of homes and tents around sort of a makeshift like wood and stone wall that's around it. And what do y'all do in this moment? And if you like, actually, you could probably even if you want to be able to describe what you're doing and describe your character as well, so we can be able to get to know who y'all are. And we'll start with Ellie.
Okay. Hello. Hi. So what you see in front of you is a tall, very slender, very willowy, very, very light-skinned, almost gray, fairy. Hair very wispy. A mix of light brown, dark brown. You can't really actually it's brown, but you can't really tell the color per se. It kind of shifts with a lot of movement. What you see behind down her back is collapsed right now. Black, gray, brown wings that when they flutter or move tend to have a sickly green, almost toxic sledge yellowy green color that comes out and has these big pops of eyes that it kind of always looks like something is staring at you in the darkness. I don't want to say she's holding in on herself, but she's not standing up proud. She's kind of that like in between. You don't quite know if she's comfortable in her own skin. And she would just be walking and looking, just constantly kind of head swiveling back and forth.
Okay. Mike, why don't you describe your character and what is it that you're doing currently?
let's see. The name of the dwarf that you see in front of you, sitting in a chair that's engineered and designed to look sturdy like metal, but elegant in frame of wood. The dwarf in front of you, named Eustace Hemlock, short-statured, as all dwarves are. But as you look and peer to this fellow dwarf sitting in this highly engineered chair, you see that the first thing you see is this very large dark moss, bushy beard. Covers, his face, and then possibly, a little bit of the armor, chainmail armor that he's wearing. His eyes are like tarnished silverware that you'd probably find in some abandoned village. And his complexion is like the bark of a walnut tree. So dark and gray. And he always seems to have a smile on his face. And that's Eustace Hemlock.
Cool. Thor?
Standing at a very small 4'5" is a small, pretty surprising package of muscle and also ferociousness, or at least she'd like you to think so. She's wrapped from forearm down to hand, and her old mentor's wraps, which have been dirtied and bloodied over time from practicing martial arts. Thorkara is a Qatari brawler from one of the Loreborn sects, and she has brown hair going down to around the end of her neckline and two puffy ears that round out. She's also got a small brown to dark brown tail going no more than 1.5 feet from her body. But as she also has brown skin, and she's not wearing any armor. She doesn't have any weapons, but if she gets into a fight, she's most likely coming out on top. Her eyes are also a dark green, and she tends to go barefoot most of the time over anything else. Thorkara is a very energetic package, but often finds herself focusing for just a bit too long on certain things. She's distracted easily and generally tends to get lost in subjects of interest. And there's a little bit about Thorkara.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Jen.
Trush Scaleborn is a descendant of the Scaleborn family, led by the eldest brother, Skarn Scaleborn, who was left behind at home. And as Trush is looking out on this new expanse, the isosceles or equilateral triangle-like eyes that are gleaming when the light just hits it, kind of like when the 3 points of a triangle come together. The color of these eyes is more of a golden ingot display. Again, as the light shimmers a little bit across the scales that are made of like a shiny steel, standing at about 7 feet tall, if he would finally stand upright. But he's a Dracona, so he leans forward quite often and is looking a little bit more over about 6'6" or so, thanks to that big old tail back there, just balancing him on out. Overall, seems very reserved, stoic, focused, stubborn. Might be another good, strong character trait of this individual. However, inside of all of these additional shields of armor for his heart, there is a heart of gold that is somewhere underneath.
All right. So as the four of you are at the edge of this cliff, that you can see a path on the way down towards the bottom. So thankfully you don't have to go back through the forest that you just sort of crawled your way out of. But what do you all want to do? Do you want to you see like the town, a little community kind of down below? You're kind of on by the Grief Cliff mountainous range right now, and it's nearing just about nearing the end of the day. It's kind of hard to tell in the Halcyon Domain because pretty much every day is overcast and dark and cloudy, and the only time that really the night is coming is you can either hear creatures from the Umbra just waking up for the evening, or you can just see that, oh yeah, okay, things are getting dark now. And that's how you can tell when day turns into night.
How long have we been walking?
I'd say you've been walking for about half a day.
All right, so we're probably I know Thorkara at this point with her tiny little legs is exhausted. I think I'm ready to can we put down camp, or at least it seems like there might be something up ahead. Can we stop soon?
Is it?
Well, leader.
Who are you looking at?
Obviously you.
I'm me.
So what do you think? Can we stop? Can my legs are killing me. Have you ever tried walking barefoot through a forest like that? Probably not. Listen, that's a my problem thing, but
I would just fly.
Well, some of us are wingedly challenged, all right?
I'll say
that makes a lot of us.
How far are we from town?
I will say for you, I would say either roll an instinct or a knowledge check for me.
Which one's better? Which one's better?
This would be to kind of
Instinct.
determine, kind of like based on your own
How close
survival.
we are.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I rolled a 15 with fear.
15 with fear. I will take that fear. And you'll see in chat that I get the beginning of the game, the GM gets to have a certain amount of fear I get to use to do stuff with to interrupt play, or add some fun little GM goodness into the game. And we start off with the number is based on how many players are in the session. So I start off with 4, and I'm currently at a 5 fear. But it is still a success. So you are able to determine that it's at least another couple hours before you can be able to reach the community. I would say probably you can take a short rest if you want to, but you probably not, maybe taking a long rest might not be the best case scenario, especially
I was
with
about to say it's probably not. I was going to ask, is it safe to actually take a long rest here outside of the pyre?
Short rest, yes. Long rest, no.
What do I know about the community? My background in history and all the stuff of the land.
You know that it is a temple called Hykara. And it is something from the old world. A community kind of there was a spire that was built just outside of the temple itself, and that's where the community sort of spread. You don't know much about what the knowledge they were able to glean from that specific temple, or whether or not. Actually, you know what? I would even say roll a knowledge check for me to see if you know anything about the Temple of Hykara.
Okay. So now when I'm switching dice on here, how do I do that? So I'm making sure that it's the.
So basically on the.
Do I still roll 2 dice anyways?
You still roll yes, absolutely. You still roll 2 dice.
Okay.
And then you just add your knowledge, whatever plus or minus what you have.
I was also going
Okay.
to say, if you just click like if there's like a knowledge check or something and you go up to the top on the character sheet and just click it, it should give you a new dice menu and you just click roll for that.
There you go. Yep. And we're using Demiplane, folks, for we're wondering if how we're able to do these digital character sheets today.
Very convenient.
Whoops,
Mhm.
I did this wrong.
Also,
But
I
we'll
realized
still-
I didn't tell everybody my name.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I was waiting for that. I couldn't pronounce it, so I was like, wait, what is it?
It's Midori, but you can all call her Dory.
Dory.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, perfect. Okay, 15. Hope
Okay.
plus 1, so 16
So
total.
16 with hope. Okay. You can add yourself a hope onto your character sheet. So make sure you have that checked off. And I would say the Temple of Akara, they were sort of investigating, not necessarily investigating. They kind of kept knowledge of life and death. Previous to the old world. This is previous to the Umbra. That was kind of they were kind of the clerics of sort of I guess the kind of a more like a death domain, if they're kind of using a little bit of a other ttrpg sort of flavor. So that's what they've been working on. You don't know what, like, if there's been that information has been shared across the Halcyon Domain, because again, knowledge is very scarce in this world. Even though you are a Dracona of study, it is definitely like finding information is like 9 times out of 10 you're gonna find pieces of info, but not necessarily the whole context or the whole bit of info. So it's basically just trying to there's a lot of puzzle pieces spread throughout the land, but no one knows what the larger picture is or like what missing pieces there are. But you do know that the Temple of Akara is kind of they were known for basically looking into the knowledge of life and death.
Do we know, with that knowledge of looking to life and death, if they are welcoming to people outside of their community? Do we know that?
You don't know. A lot of times with communities, they can be because they're very few people can be able to communicate between the different communities. There are messengers and stuff that are brave enough to survive, to try to survive the Umbra, to deliver goods and things to in between communities. But a lot of the communities are very like separated and kind of isolated. So you don't know until you approach whether they're welcoming to strangers or they're very closed off to strangers or friends. You don't know unfortunately until you arrive. Like basically you've been kind of trying to be able to find a home, and there's been a few communities that you've been trying to that they were just not welcoming at all. Mostly kind of like within the Adel Hallows, they've been very closed off because of just the fact that it's like the mountainous regions of the Halcyon Domain are very they can be very isolated. And I would say that Eustace, you definitely would know this as well. They're good to their own people, but to outsiders, kind of a little standoffish, as it were. But yeah. So, and apparently, I guess the meeting has ended.
Okay,
Google,
perfect. I was just about to-
didn't realize it was going to do that.
It just happened like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, so forgive me, folks, while I'm just trying to be able to get to the captions back up and running, and then send the invite to y'all again.
Thank you.
And also the music stopped too, which is interesting. Hopefully that's not a sign of any issues with internet on my end, because I am streaming to multiple channels right now.
Our first boss battle, the ISP.
The ISP, yes. All right. If y'all could join the new thing.
I'm doing it now.
Joining.
Okay.
It is true.
Test.
The production is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, cool. I think we should have captions back up and running. Awesome. Awesome. There we go. Cool. Is trying to claim Steve. Yes, basically that's what's happening right now. Umbra's definitely trying to claim me right now. Sorry. Before, what were you all were trying to build? Yeah. So I told you. Yeah. So you don't know whether or not the community is going to be welcoming until you arrive.
Okay.
Well, Thorkara, a small rest we could do, but we should not stay here long.
I was gonna say at that point, I'd rather just keep going and let's get there. I appreciate it though, but yeah, no point in staying out when it's this close to being dark out. We don't want to be here. I'd rather have hurt feet than be, otherwise indisposed.
Do you want to save your stamina and jump on my back?
Actually, Eustace, can I jump on the tower shield?
Of course. Like I've always said, when you ever need a time to rest, just perch on on my backrest. I don't know if that is a good rhyme, but hey, we'll go with that.
It's okay. It works for me. I do exactly that. I just jump up there and kind of rest my feet.
Cool.
These dwarves and all their sayings.
All right. So now, normally during a short rest within Daggerheart, you can basically choose certain things you can be able, like at least one thing you can be able to do during a short rest. In the long rest, you can basically choose up to two things. You can either clear health points, clear stress. You can either repair armor. You can prepare for the day, or you can, which basically is allowing you to work on a project if you had something that's a long-term kind of project. But for right now, because you're kind of going into a short rest, and this is the beginning of the thing, you don't necessarily have to do that, because I think everybody's at full health and full stress right now. So, but if there is something that is within your character that you already have a stress or already have a hit point taken down, you can be able to choose to be able to clear off at least one of those during a short rest. But
I'm not sure if in this case, I think, are we skipping the short rest in this case and just
well, just say for narrative purposes, you're going into a short rest. But I'm just saying for the mechanics for future short rests, this is what you would be doing, kind of doing a little education about how that works within Daggerheart. But the one thing I will need from you is someone to keep watch, because the Umbra is ever present and danger can lurk around any corner. So does anyone want to be able to take their time during their short rest to keep watch?
I can.
Yeah.
Is it your turn? Didn't you do it last time?
I can fly above and see.
Okay.
Okay.
It's those wings.
Why don't you roll an instinct roll for me?
Mathing. 13 with fear.
13 with fear. I will gladly take that fear.
Sorry, I should stop rolling.
I was the first one to put it on there, so it's okay.
It's all good. As you sit and rest, you're kind of looking down or looking across the horizon. You see your destination down below, and hopefully there will be a welcoming community. Most often, a lot of the communities have been at least allow you to be able to stay outside the walls of their other communities, so you can do long rests. So you're not going multiple days without safety in some form. But you've been turned down by a few communities within the past couple of days, and this is kind of like one of the last sort of outskirt kind of communities where it's not as it's the before you have to start getting closer to the Amber Reach, which is not necessarily a great place to be able to hunker down. You can still live. People still survive and live in there, but there's a lot more elements, human and other creature elements that and still the Umbra that is ever present in the Amber Reach. And it's just, this is the closest, this is the last community before you have to start looking inward into much more populated areas. But as you do, Ellie, or Dory, I should say, sorry, I'm trying to get the character names. You smell it first. It is a acidic, thick smell. And it's sulfuric. It's just, it hits your nose like just a nasty, just kind of smell. And then you see just down below, as you're kind of like still high above, there are these little puddles of black acidic ooze that is ever creeping towards your friends. And we're going to go into combat right now, folks, because now the way the combat works, there is no initiative order, but there is a so it's a very fluid form of combat. But I will say I'm going to start off with this. I want, before you are able to even react, Ellie, I want everyone to roll me an agility or instinct reaction roll. So this is you not collect hope with this. You do roll your hope and fear. Don't worry, you're not going to be adding any fear. It's just a straight reaction roll. I just want the number.
All right, I get a +1 on that.
19.
19. Okay.
15.
15. Okay.
10 total.
16?
10 total. Okay.
It's been a long day. I was in the rest, abruptly woken up.
All right. As Eustace, as you are sitting in your chair, the thing that hits you first is also the smell, and you get as everyone is starting to kind of like feel a smell, but before you can even react, a nasty growling like stone like predator like creature, almost like a predator, a panther, but covered in stone and moss and grass and dripping with black tendril ooze out of its mouth and nostrils, and every bit of its being attacks you, and you take, hold on, gotta find my D8 here. Sorry, here we go. You take 4 points of physical damage. Now, the way the Daggerheart works is that the damage is done by thresholds. If you take a minor damage, you are hit with 1 hit point. If you get into major damage, you take 2 hit points. If you go into severe damage, you take 3 hit points. And if a roll is double your severe threshold, then it's 4 hit points. And so what are your current thresholds right now, like the numbers wise?
So this is based upon the armor, which would be 7 and 15.
7 and 15. Okay, so basically the way this works, chat, is if anything below a 7 is considered minor damage. Anything between a 7 and what you said, 15?
Correct.
So in between 7 and 15 is considered major damage. Anything above 15 is considered severe damage. So right now you will take a minor damage to your character, unless you want to spend an armor, which you do have. I know you do have. You can be able to spend an armor to be able to lower that. You can spend 1 armor to lower that threshold by 1. And because this will go into your minor damage, you can literally lower it down to 1 or literally to 0, so you don't take any damage. But you have to spend an armor in order to be able to do so.
Okay, and then I would want to spend an armor. Do I go to the armor slots in Demi-Plane?
Yes, you would just do a -1 to 1 of your armor slots. So you're good. You don't take a hit point of damage. And now everyone is. I'll allow you to. You can do whatever you want. Again, there's no initiative order. Ellie, you've now everyone sees this creature that is just now. You literally hear it go. as it charged towards Eustace. So what do y'all do? What do y'all want to do?
How big is it?
It's about your height, so about 4.5 feet tall. It's kind of like, think of it as tall as like a normal size, like panther or mountain lion.
So it has a face.
It has a stone-like face where it kind of like it's hard to tell features. There's no you can see what would be where eye sockets would be, but there's nothing there but black ooze dripping out. And then you see like it opens its mouth, and its fangs are dripping with this acidic ooze that when it drops down to the ground, it sort of eats away at the ground and kind of basically turns the stone into bleach white. So yes, it has a sort of stone and moss and black ooze type face.
You know what? Good enough for me. I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna punch it in the face.
Okay. All right. I think then roll for an attack.
All right, so little fun thing for anybody watching. My character is unarmed. They don't have weapons on. Well, they have a grappler, but we're not using that. So I'm gonna roll for my strength, you said? Or roll for the attack die?
Yes.
All right, so I will go ahead and roll for that, and that is a 16 with 8 fear, so it's fear over.
So 16 with fear. Okay, I will.
Yep.
We'll take that fear, and it is a success. So roll damage.
All right, so here we go. Let's have some fun here. 9.
9. Okay. It takes. It hits, and also as well, you do take, because your bear, unless you have armor on your hands. You are hitting sort of like as you hit the face, it kind of, you've hit stone before. Like part of your training is you know how to be able to hit hard surfaces so that you can build up those calluses. But it's the black ooze that hits your hands that you start to feel that bit of that acid kind of go through, and you take 4 points of physical damage.
Right. So for me, I know I also have on my thing a tier 1 because I chose not to equip armor, and the tier 1 is 9 through 19. So would that be minor damage? Or?
That would be considered minor damage, yes, unless you want to
Okay.
spend an armor to clear that to basically down to nothing.
I'll just take the damage for now.
Okay, cool. All right, what else anyone want to do?
How far away am I?
You are
Because I'm also in that category.
you are within what they call close range. So it's for the way that Daggerheart works with it, it's not like a 15-20 feet away kind of deal. It's considered melee, which is you're like right up against the enemy. There's very close, which was generally about 10 feet ish, and then there's close, which is about within any kind of like normal movement speed, and then there's far, which is I think kind of where Dory is kind of now. If consider flying, you're kind of considered far from them, and then there's very far kind of range. So you are within, like I would say, within close to very close range with this creature.
Okay, so then to use my mace, for example, which is melee, I'm not close enough yet.
No, you can move within melee. Yeah, there's no like
Okay.
thing with movement. You just decide how like unless there's a specific thing with your character that essentially you can't get you can't, like to be able to get close, like within close to very to far, you can generally be able to make it within one turn.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use my tail to prop myself up so I'm even more launched into the air before I come on down with my mace onto its head.
Okay, all right, roll for attack.
Okay, and I'm still rolling the double dice.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and this is where if you have a weapon, then you roll for that, and then whatever that plus is to its attack bonus, that's what you would add to this as well. If there's like a number beside like your primary weapon.
Okay, so 15, so plus 2, 17 with hope.
17 with hope. Okay, that succeeds. Roll damage.
Okay, and now I got to roll different dice for damage.
Yes. So that'll be whatever that weapon that you that you have.
Okay, so
it's
a
whatever
D8.
that. Yeah, D8, and then plus whatever if there's a modifier to that as well.
Okay, where Where do I change that? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Right, and then add the modifier later, I'm sure. Okay, so roll 6 plus 2, 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good. Okay.
Making sense.
All right. Okay, cool. All right. Anyone else? What do you want to do?
Is this similar to other tabletop RPGs where you get like an action, bonus action, that sort of stuff?
No, this is
Or, like,
literally whatever
what
you
do-
want to do. Yeah, like you can team up. You can there's a thing called tag team where if one of you has 3 hope, you can spend that, and you can double up and kind of do a fun little narrative tag team thing, and you get to add both damage dice to it as well. Or it's free flowing. So even like if Thor and Jen, if you want to go again, you can totally do that. It's there's no initiative order. So
Okay, so seeing.
I've got 5 hope.
May I ask one question real quick, Ellie,
Yeah.
before you go?
Yeah.
You said if one person has 3 hope. Now, could you collectively do one person each uses a hope, or does it have to be one
So
person and 3 hope?
everyone has the ability to be able to spend 3 hope, but you only are allowed to do that once per encounter, basically, or combat encounter. So basically, you all can even team up. Like if everyone wants to be able to team up with say like Mike or like you can all and Ellie and Thor and Jen, you can spend 3 hope, and Mike can basically keep being added to the tag team fight, because it's not going to spend. You're not spending individually 3 hope. It's just whoever's taking the initiative of it is the one that's spending the 3 hope.
Gotcha. That's what I need to know.
Okay.
Well, and I've got 5 hope for depending on everyone tracking on their hope and stuff like that. So I've got a lot.
Can I ask real quick, did we start with a certain amount of hope when we started the campaign?
Yeah, would have already given you hope at the beginning, or like on your character sheet.
Yeah, mine started with 2.
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
Everyone starts with 2.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I can explain what I want to do, and then you can tell me if that's so I'm up in the air flying.
Mhm.
And what kind of shadows are around? Does this creature cast a shadow at all? Or is
I would say it's kind of, at least it's a decent point in the day that yes, it would cast a relative shadow. I mean, it is overcast, so it's not like a pretty like sunlight where you can absolutely tell that there is a shadow. But yeah, with you kind of the whatever accounts for the sun is still up in the air, that there is a bit of a shadow. Yeah.
Okay. So
And there's my shadow too.
I would imagine my friends might be used to this, but I would like to appear behind the creature. So in the blink, all of a sudden, the flying green that you can see sickly in the sky disappears. And behind this oozy pile appears this cloaked shadow.
Okay.
I mark a stress for being able to do that.
Sure. Okay.
And I am now cloaked.
Okay.
And I would like to then attack with my throwing dagger and my dagger. I don't know, because they're single-handed, so I don't know if I can do both.
I would say,
Or if it's one.
the
or
only
other.
so if you have 2 weapons in your hands at the moment, you can definitely use both. It would mean obviously 2 different sort of attack rolls, but if you have to switch between from what your primary to your secondary weapon, you have to mark a stress in order to be able to swap that out if you need to.
Okay, yeah, because they're both like one-handed weapons.
Cool.
So
I would say roll attack, and you can roll it at advantage, which basically you can roll an extra d6 die and add that to your total number.
And does this technically count as sneak attack because I am cloaked?
Absolutely, it does.
Okay, so
Get him.
So I'm gonna roll 4 dice,
Okay.
right?
You roll
I'm
for your,
rolling your. Oh no! With advantage is rolling an extra d6.
it's just an
right?
extra d6, yeah. So you still roll your hope and fear die, but you get to add a d6 roll to that, and then whatever modifiers gets added on from based on what weapon you're using and any sneak attack damage kind of deal.
Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I rolled a 15 with fear.
Okay, I will take that fear. So that does succeed. So roll damage.
But then there's my spellcaster roll. So then does that matter?
No,
my
it matters.
two that
It doesn't matter. Yeah, you wouldn't pass the threshold, so you're fine.
So then damage is 1d8 plus a d6.
Okay.
8 plus 6. I rolled max on both.
So
14 damage.
14 damage. Okay, that is major damage to this dude.
Wow.
Let's go. Wow.
Wow.
And
Sneak.
okay.
And that's only one weapon? Or is that rolling with advantage?
No, that's if you have another weapon, you absolutely can roll another weapon. Yeah.
Okay.
Sick.
And as you kind of do so, all of a sudden it just like it kind of just gives a quick like as it kind of quickly turns around, and now it's sort of facing you directly as it's as it's going to attack. So if you have one more attack, then yes, go for it.
So that what I would say was we'll use my physical dagger, and then I've got my throwing dagger, which is magical.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if that makes a difference for you, but
No, it would in certain situations, yes.
I rolled a 13 on the second attack with hope.
13 with hope. That just hits.
Yes. Okay, so then I take I get a hope for that, right?
You do get a hope for that, yes. Yep.
Okay, good. And then 1d8 because there's no sneak attack because I'm not sneaking anymore.
Oh, but you're so sneaky to me.
And that's 3.
Okay. That's how much damage is that?
3 damage.
3 damage. Okay. All right, perfect. And because you did initially roll that first attack with fear, I will spend a fear to basically put to spotlight me at the moment, or at least this this creature. And because you're the one who kind of did some sneaky, it's going to attack you with let's see. Sorry, chat. I'm just basically looking up the stats here on the side here. All right, cool. It's going to leap in the air and come at you with a bite attack. So does an 11 hit, and this will be against your evasion score.
No.
Okay.
Wow,
okay.
you have that much evasion?
I got 13.
Let's go. Wow.
I have 7.
All right. Well, I'm gonna spend another fear, and I'm gonna attack you again.
Spend that fear, baby. Let's go. Ellie got unblockable.
I am
Let's
rolling.
go, unblockable.
I am rolling like shit right now. So that's a 7 to attack. So
With menace.
so
I'm just sidestepping. Just
okay.
basically like bloop.
Yep, it sort of leaps out at you and gives a quick like as it tries to bite you, and it leaps right past you and just kind of lands and skids around as it tries to kind of like drift into back into a position where it's facing you, and it is now your spotlight. It's your go. So anyone who wants to attack, go by all means.
Just adding a little flavor, everyone else can go. But when it turns to face me, I swirl my wings.
Okay, cool.
Amazingly.
I would like to do an action. Eustace's eyes are normally like a grayish brown when well rested, but Eustace suffers due to spinal cord injury, chronic fatigue, and the things that you do not mess with Eustace about is his magical stick of inhalation
Okay.
and sleep. So now Eustace's eyes have gone from this grayish, dark brown to an effervescent red, bloodshot. Eustace is not happy. And
Okay.
Eustace would love to do a forceful push. And did you want me to read that out?
Yeah. Read out what forceful push does.
Yeah, forceful push is make an attack with your primary weapon against a target within melee range. And I'm assuming I'm within melee range.
You can get into melee range. Yes, you are in a your wheelchair, but it's still considered in close range, so you can be able to get to that within your turn.
Perfect. And it says on a success, you deal damage and knock them back to close range. And on success with hope, add a d6 to your damage roll. Additionally, you could spend a hope to make them temporarily vulnerable. And I was going to spend a hope on this action.
Absolutely. First off, I would like you to, because we are adding some disability mechanics into this game. So Mike is definitely playing with the combat wheelchair that's actually in the Daggerheart system. But I have some custom sort of disability mechanics that I've been working on has a Daggerheart flavor. So you chose which disability again?
Chronic fatigue.
Chronic fatigue. So we're gonna start. We're gonna have. We could have. I was gonna do this at the beginning, but I figured this would be kind of good time for to be able to do this now, because I know there's certain things that deal with stress and hope and stuff like that. So I want you to roll your hope and fear die, and just tell me which die you rolled higher on.
Oh my god.
No.
On fear, higher on fear by 1.
Okay, so with chronic fatigue, that you basically, the way I have it is if your hope die, like at the end of long rest, you roll your duality die. If your hope die is higher, today is a good spoons day and take no effect. If your fear die is higher, mark a stress. So add a stress to your character, and then I will allow you to be able to do that forceful push.
Okay. So mark 1 on stress, right? Okay.
Yes, mark 1 on stress. Yeah.
Okay, and then now do the forceful push.
Yes.
Okay, so then do I do the feature roll or attack roll or
Do an attack roll.
attack roll? And did I just do both die?
So you're using your forceful push with this. Yes, you'll be rolling with both like hope and fear die. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let me go ahead and do that. All right, I am at 16 total.
With hope or fear?
Hope.
Okay, give yourself a hope, and that is a success. So what happens? Does it roll damage, or is it basically does it get pushed away, or what happens?
It says on success with hope, add d6 to your damage roll.
Okay, then roll for damage and add a d6.
Okay. And then, so damage is both the same thing, both d12s?
No, so that is based on what you're actually doing. So the force push will have its own attack sort of thing. So it's like whether it's like a d8 or a d10 or something like that.
Okay. Oh, so the 1d12 plus 3.
And then add
the
6
heavy
because
frame.
you made a success.
Wow. So 10, 13 plus the d6 is 5. So 18 total.
18 total. Okay. Yeah, that goes into major damage. So he takes 2 hit points.
Jeez.
And do I deplete a hope off of my sheet?
Yes, and then if it says to mark off a hope, then yes, you would take a hope off.
Okay.
And does it get pushed?
Now they're vulnerable.
Oh yeah, so vulnerable means that everyone has advantage on attacks, because which basically you add a d6 to your attack roll until basically the creature can be able to has to spend a fear in order to be able to get rid of it. But it is still your go. You did roll with hope. So what does anyone else want to do? It's hurt real bad. It's starting to you can see that little bit of kind of bit of like white and black ichor starts to kind of get from different gashes on its body. It's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good.
question.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking I want to do something, but I want to know if this comes to mind at all. I have elemental breath as well as one of my things.
Sure.
Does fire at all kind of recede any of the acidity? And the reason why is I'm thinking about a tag team move, and I want to know if that will create an opening for someone with maybe bare hands to be able to hit without taking damage.
You can certainly try.
Okay. So, Thorkara, do you want to team up with me again?
Let's do it.
All right. So, Trush is now like, you can see the rearing back of the shoulders, the lungs getting full. And all this very acute blaze of flame is going towards the front of the face, where a little bit more of the stone is appearing than the acidity to push back any potential acidity, so that Thorkara can go ahead and set up for whatever they are planning to do next.
Okay, actually, if you want to do this as a tag team, is anyone spending the 3 hope to do this? Because you can be able to do it basically at the same time, and collectively group your damage together. Is that what you want to do?
I'll spend the 3
Trush-
hope for sure.
Oh, I was gonna say, considering Trush is doing this, if I spend 3 hope, is there any difference, or does it just need to be
Only
the
one of you
to
needs to
tag?
spend 3 hope.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll spend
Perfect.
the 3.
Okay, cool. Then it's a tag team. So basically, I want both of you to roll an attack with hope and fear, and you get to choose which one you want to use.
Okay.
Between the both of you.
Roll the attack die.
Roll the attack die for both of you. Roll the attack die, which is
Perfect.
your hope and fear die, and then add any modifiers to your normal to whatever the attack that you're doing.
All right, here we go. 19 with hope winning out.
Okay.
11 of hope.
Jen, what did you roll?
Mine was 9 with fear.
Okay, so you can take you can take the 19 with hope.
Yes.
And now you both get to roll your damage, and it gets added together.
All right. All right, let's do
Oh.
this.
Knock
Let's
him
see.
down.
Because yes, that
And,
absolutely was a hit for sure.
11 on the damage roll.
Okay.
Let's see, 3 plus 2, so 5.
So 16 total within the damage. Okay.
I'm gonna bring my hands together, because knowing how hard it was to hit into this thing before, I'm going to prepare my hands almost in a volleyball way, so I get the meaty part of the fist underneath that's usually used for protection, something I would have learned during a lot of my combat training and looking up into old tomes, stuff like that. And I smash down on this thing almost just a blow to the back of the head, pushing this into the fireball, and just get them to stumble forward a little bit.
Okay. Well, describe its demise.
That
literally just that?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, listen, so this thing immediately takes the blow to the back of the head, and I watch as this fireball goes careening into its face, starting to sizzle the acrid acidity off of its face. I slowly begin to see this thing crumble and fall apart and scream out in what can only be described as an otherworldly, horrific wail.
Okay. Yeah. So as you do so, yeah, the fire breath from Trush basically like envelops this creature's face, and you start to see that kind of black ooze just sort of like just get ripped away from it, and exposing the stone and what is left for moss underneath, and it's just enough for the size of basically of 2 fists. And as Takara, basically you run up and you just do a kind of like one of those leaping sort of punches, and just slam down with both your hands. It crushes the what was left of the stone underneath, because as the acid of the ooze was eating away at its own skull, you're able to smash that skull in, and the creature goes and just collapses, and at the little bit of the acidic ooze kind of just starts to bubble and boil as it dissolves the rest of this stone wraith body, and congratulations, your first encounter. You won. Great. Yeah, awesome.
Thorkara, yes, yes.
That's what I'm talking about, just like the old days.
All right. Well, I'm feeling spruce as a goose now.
Definitely a good
Goose?
workout.
Goose?
Yeah,
I think it's
what's a goose?
I think I
Who
read about
knows?
one
I
of
read it
those
in a book
one
somewhere.
time. I was gonna say, I feel like I read about one of those sometime. They don't exist. I think they're a fairy tale.
Well, I feel like a fairy tale. How about that? Is that better? Do you feel better, Dory? Goodness gracious. Let me just celebrate.
Celebrate all you would like.
Okay.
Well, I guess that answers whether we should stick around here. So I guess more walking. But Dory, good job on the watch.
Well, I believe you all saw it first and acted first. You just gave me the opportunity to be able to help.
I felt it first. Yes.
Yes.
As
Are
I
you doing
wipes
okay?
away the sludge. It was all right. Didn't get hurt at all. Just a little bit damage to my armor, but whew, that thing stunk worse than the side of the mountain where we put our scraps from.
Ew.
Oh yeah,
That's
if you thought it
nice.
stunk before, it stinks even worse now as it's rotting in front of you.
Happy to keep moving forward. Yes?
Yes, away from that.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm gonna use all my fire breath just trying to put this thing out.
I feel like that would make it worse.
At this point,
Noted.
Thorkara.
Burning ooze before? Doesn't
couple
sound
times.
pleasant.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to take a rest or if you want to continue forward. I mean, you are out of essentially the danger zone. Danger zone. Sorry, that was instinct. I don't know where that came from.
This is an Ellie question.
Yes.
Is loot something we should be looking for?
I mean, you could, but I would probably say there's probably just not really anything like if there was anything on its like on its body or in its body, it's dissolved now. So.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh. God darn. Well, there goes
then
my
just-
loot goblin dreams right there.
And then just checking, I should take away the 3 hope that I used for that, right?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Cool.
Is there only one path to basically the temple?
Yes, you
Where
can
we're
see
going towards the pyre.
Yeah, now that you're kind of out of the clearing of the large forest, you can see just kind of off to the side a path that kind of winds down towards the bottom, and kind of it can lead up to the temple down below. It'll still take you a couple hours to be able to do so, but with the amount of amount of daylight that's left, you'll be able to reach there by nightfall.
Like, will it actually be nightfall, or will it be just before nightfall?
More like what would be the equivalent of sunset, as it were.
Okay. And the reason why I was asking, because I'm curious if the communities care when new individuals are coming in at actual nightfall, when it's a little bit more
because of the nature of the world. They always have guards posted pretty much around the community. They're like part of serving the community is that there are some that are trained to protect them. So they're not necessarily some could be potentially trained soldiers from birth, but some just kind of pick it up. Some are just farmers that like have never just with a pitchfork essentially. It depends on the size or the scope of the community itself. But there is always someone on guard protecting the community, and so yes, there are times for safety reasons. Sometimes it's just things like people and creatures can come up in the middle of the night, so it's not out of the ordinary for someone to arrive during nightfall.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I assume you're all ready to go.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, these old bones are a little cold, and that fire that we see down there looks a little bit nicer. But I don't know how you feel, Trush. Being Dragonborn, are you always warm all the time? And we won't get too close to this fire, Dory. I promise your wings shall be safe. And of course, Thorkara, we're not gonna put your notes in jeopardy.
Thank you. Yeah, I really don't want to have to rewrite these. The last time took me 5 days.
All
I
right.
told you that was an accident. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I say begrudgingly.
You are way too intimidating for your own good.
Who are you? Not
So
me.
yeah, I
yes,
think
yes,
we,
you.
I think we all just kind of make our way down there. It's like a downhill grade, so it's not too much of a energy producing movement that we have to do.
No, yeah. For you and your wheelchair, you'll be able to make it down. You might need someone to kind of steady you, just to kind of because obviously there's the path is a pretty, like, you can see the path, but it's not exactly the most convenient path. So you might need help a little bit here and there, but you're all able to make it down. And as you all are making your way to the Temple of Katara. Is that what I called it? I can't remember.
Yes.
Katara. Okay, cool.
Akara?
Akara. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Alcara. That's
yeah.
what it was. Okay.
We're gonna fade to a moment in your not so in a recent past. We're going to come to a small makeshift tavern in an old like in a community. It's small. It's a humble tavern as of sorts. One that basically doesn't really have a name. It's just the community just calls it a tavern. Or the pub or a bar, whatever it is. There's no name. So there's a few tables that are there. There's one person kind of behind the bar. They don't really serve food there as much, but alcohol aplenty, or what makes for alcohol in this sort of punished realm of the Halcyon Domain. And we see kind of in a dark corner of this, like basically just one room tavern. There's no other additional rooms for inns or hotel rooms or a back kind of kitchen area. It's literally just one room, and you see it kind of in the corner. We see Dory and Eustace kind of just sitting there, enjoying a little bit of a respite. And what would you be talking about at this point?
Eustace is sitting in his chair, looking over at Dory, a little bit frustrated and confused on why we're here. Dory, there is no name of the Viridian of this tavern. I don't even know if there's even a sign for this place. Is there anything green at all?
She just opens her wings. There's a little green.
That's the fine side of the fact. You said that there was going to be something green, and I didn't expect it was going to be you in the place, and it will also have green. I was expecting, green ale or mead.
I did hear rumor of green ale and mead, and maybe some eggs and some ham, but
Oh, I'm listening.
I don't know. We were just... Did we not ask?
I would say you probably whoever was tending bar kind of just didn't really hey, you don't mind. He just kind of pointed to an empty table at the corner and just kind of begrudgingly said, "Order what you want." And that's when you got basically just two, basically kind of
Okay,
like.
so we're sitting at the table waiting for someone to come over, kind of idea.
You were given, someone to come over and kind of take in your initial drink order. I get, and it's literally just water. It's water that's mixed with the ash of the sacred pyre. So it's got a bit of a kick, but that's kind of it's gross. It's what y'all have. It literally is just called fire water.
Not fire water.
I'll go ahead and take a sip of it. Kind of
brave.
cough and little retch a little bit and say, I think the only thing green is gonna be my face in a little bit.
You're very brave. That is. She's just looking at the drink in front of her like there's no movement. Just. You're very brave.
You gotta try, things once, right?
Oh, it sounded a lot more appetizing when I was hearing the others talk about it, but
It's decent.
your face says otherwise.
As my face is just getting greener
Like
and
so
greener,
lonely.
like it's just because
And grimace.
his skin is usually like a darkish gray, so then you could just see the color contrast just change in this gradient filling, his face.
Would you like some just water?
Oh, they have that?
I don't know. Can I look around and see if anybody else has just plain water, or is everybody drinking fire ash?
Why don't you make an instinct roll for me?
Okay. Cocked. Sorry.
All good.
Also. Okay, well, no matter what, that's still okay. It is a 16 with fear.
16 with fear. I will take that fear. And you look around the room and you see that like pretty much the people that are there are basically just kind of keeping to themselves. You see like them just kind of just hunched over with their very kind of rudimentary, like just basic sort of cup, and they're just kind of slowly drinking. You can tell it's that pretty much everyone else is drinking the same thing that you both have, which is whatever fire water is available. But the bartender is kind of just hanging out around the behind the bar and just wiping down the bar top, or what it's basically just a bunch of pieces of wood on top of planks of stone, or like those piles of stone, and it just, he's got some shelves back there with a few bottles, but you basically can kind of tell that there's really not much to speak of that's there. Again, this is kind of like a survivalist type sort of tavern. It's enough for whoever is kind of like on guard of the night, kind of coming off shift, just to get themselves a little bit of a drink, or for those who are just going on to duty, whether it's tending to the sacred pyre or going on guard duty, they just kind of come in for a quick drink, knowing that either they just survived another night and kind of a sigh of relief, or they're just dreading what's to come in the evening. So yeah.
It looks like maybe I'm wrong. I seem to have picked a place with absolutely nothing than what you're drinking.
Well, I guess we'll just kind of settle here for a second. I kind of can't really move anywhere more than, the usual of not moving as much, but
If you need help,
I need a
just let me
second.
know.
I need a few minutes to recollect myself, as he kind of peers off to the side and kind of puts his head down under the corner and kind of heaves a little bit, and then yeah, I'll be there in a second.
I will say at this moment, and I'm going to spend a fear to do this, with that kind of like an instinct roll. You noticed, Dory, that you are, even though everyone sort of seems to be tending to themselves, you are, you do see some folks that are just kind of looking into your both general direction. It's occasional glance here and there, but there are some that are just kind of keeping an eye on the both of you.
Can I make direct eye contact with the person closest to me that's doing that?
Absolutely. And I would say you can make a presence roll, or if there's like an experience you want to be able to add to that, I'll allow you to do so.
Yeah. I will. They'd be within close range, yeah.
They would be within. Yeah, everyone's within close to within close range to you.
To the person closest in like maybe a group of people that are doing this, I'm gonna make direct eye contact and doing almost like a fixation, like a just unblinking stare. And I rolled a 12 plus 7 is 19 plus 2, so 21 with hope.
21 with hope. Okay. Then I would say, and we should also mention you do have your disability as well, because you chose it was chronic pain, I would believe, correct? So I'm gonna have you roll why don't you roll a d4 for me?
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so mark off 1 stress for the day, and you can be able to. This is part of the chronic pain disability mechanics that I have. It's called Good Pain Day. At the end of a long rest, roll a d4, add that many points of stress until your next long rest. You may clear the stress using the usual methods, which is consumables, short rests, downtime actions, etc. So you made you kind of clocked the. Sorry, I guess my captions kind of froze. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Hold on. Oh, it's just taking a while to be able to catch up. Hold on, I'm gonna refresh it. Well, no, actually, I don't want to refresh because I don't want to leave the call. Here we go.
And I think the call ends in 7 minutes.
Oh, does it? Oh,
Correct. Yes.
oh, fun. Okay, I thought I actually. Oh, I know it will be the reason why. Okay. So then I guess I will. Yeah, we'll be fine for the moment. Okay. So yes, you as you kind of look at the closest person to you, and you kind of describe what your facial expression is right now.
Facial expression is pretty blank. Definitely like almost seeing as if my eyes kind of get bigger and like as if my eyes were to like be the only thing that someone can see, and it's dark around me, and they see this dark emerald kind of like beckoning light come forward from my eyes. Just very deadpan. Not attempting to be malicious, but just very, I clock you, I see you.
Okay. As you catch this stranger's eye, it doesn't look like he's super intimidating, but he does have some like he's wearing some makeshift armor. You can tell that that this is definitely a guard for the community that you're currently in, and he has this sort of suspicious look on your face. And he, when you both catch each other's eyes, he kind of immediately stands up and starts walking towards you. And as he approaches both your table, he kind of says, "Strangers, huh? Well, we don't necessarily like strangers around here, especially ones that just appear in the middle of the night, and ones that, with your sort of temperament." And he kind of like motions towards your wings and looks down at Eustace in his chair.
Oh,
Strangers are only people that you haven't met before.
Eustace kind of hears the approaching guard comes in and, was still hunched over on the side of the table, and then kind of hears the guard coming up and then lifts his head up and looks up at this guard, and, it's just a little jolly smile. It's like, we're strangers, but we're friendly strangers.
I'm Midori. We're no longer strangers. Nice to meet you. What was your name?
He kind of hawks a lot of spit in his mouth and just spits down at the table in front of you, and he goes, "I don't care about names. I want you to..."
So you're nameless.
"What's a nameless?"
You. If you won't share your name, then we have to call you nameless.
"Did you hear that, friends? I'm nameless." And you hear them kind of just bark and guffaw as they kind of stand up and start to kind of come towards you. But as they kind of do so, we do see a little 4-foot tall cat and a 6'6" tall Dracona walk into the same building, and at that moment you see basically there's a group of kind of a nasty looking guards start to kind of like walk towards this back corner, and you see someone with the sort of wings kind of peeking through underneath a cloak, and you see a large dwarf with a big giant beard sitting in a wheelchair. And before I ask what do y'all do, we're gonna take a quick break, and we shall be right back. And so hydrate, get stretched, go to the little Umbra's room if you need to, and we will be right back and see what happens in this tavern, as it were. So see y'all in just a few. Oh, and now my camera's gone all wonky. Let me just fix that real quick. That's fine. The Umbra got to me. Welcome back, everyone. We are about to get started back into the Unbroken, an Age of Umbra story, which is a Daggerheart one-shot that we are doing today, testing out some disability mechanics as well. And where we last left off, we are in kind of like, we were introduced to our 4 adventurers today, are trying to be able to find a new community to find to call their own. They saw the Temple of Akara down below, and hopefully maybe that might be the community for them before they have to start venturing further inland into the more dangerous parts of the Halcyon Domain, which is the Amber Reach. And as they were about to do so, they ran into like this stone, what they call stone reef, but just sort of like oozing with black ooze and acid. They were able to deal with them pretty handily. with a final blow of some fire and fists, some fists of fire, and now we're and as they were kind of walking towards the Temple of Kara, we go back in time to a moment of what started off potentially as levity, but now kind of has a little bit of a standoff encounter of some very, I would say, I think it'd be safe to say, some bigoted community folks or guards from this just whatever community they're currently in right now. They're about to accost both Dory and Eustace, and at this moment, Thorkara and Trush enter into this tavern as well. And once again, you see a group of at least 4 guards kind of starting to kind of gather around this table in the back corner, where you see a woman in I believe she/her was your pronouns, correct, Dory? Okay, cool. A woman with kind of in cloak with a little bit of butterfly wings, and you see a large dwarf and his, with a big huge beard, and he's sitting in his wheelchair as they're being accosted by guards. And the guy that's been talking to you basically kind of just says, "We don't like your kind around here. I say it's best that you leave." And Thorkara and Trush, what do you do right now?
I'm gonna loudly pronounce my presence as I walk into the bar. I was like, "Barkeep, get me whatever toilet water passes for beer around here." And what do you mean leave? The party's just getting started. I mean, listen, the last 3 places we've been to have been awful. Can't we what, you guys don't like strangers around here? And I just kind of look at the guard kind of grumpy, and I look at the barkeep and just kind of like flick a coin over, because I'm very tired and I'm not in the mood to deal with people. So I'm looking for a good crowd of peeps to hang with.
And Trush, what are you doing?
Before I can say anything, did you actually flip a coin? Because that sound effect was.
I was just saying,
perfect.
there was a sound effect on a coin. It was someone flipped it. I was like, that wasn't me.
I was like, that was perfect. Like, I got into the moment. Okay.
I mean, the best that I got is this. Like,
So in fact, when I did that, I went and swung my hand up like this and it hit the knife that was on my plate.
that was perfect timing. My goodness. All right, cool.
That was so good. I was like, wow. Okay, I didn't bring my A game. Thank you, Thor.
Oh my god.
So Tresh, what are you doing at the moment as Thorkara says this?
And so as Thorkara is saying this, I'm surveying the room. I'm also leaning a little bit more towards my right side of my body and head is towards all the commotion so I can hear it better. For those that don't know, my character deals with hard of hearing or deafness from the fact that I got injured in a raid a long time ago, and so my left ear does not have the same capability because the eardrum blew, so it's like maybe 10% of what it used to be.
Okay.
So I'm listening as I'm doing this, but my hand's also on the shoulder of this little Qatari over here, who's very rambunctious and of high spirits, but sometimes a little volatile too. So I'm lumbering and I'm surveying because I'm more of a stoic, paying attention to what things going on. Because from my past, I used to be such a gun-ho individual.
Yep.
That got me into trouble a lot. So right now, I'm holding that back for the moment.
Okay.
And also, I just want to add on as well, my character is not good at reading social cues at all and not good at reading a room. So when it comes to analyzing a situation that might be a little bit tense, they tend to miss things.
Okay. I will say that because like this will be kind of a presence roll to kind of basically the presence in Daggerheart is they say it's to charm, perform, or deceive, and in your case you're just trying to be able to calm the situation, as it were, and you. I would say with Trush's help, I would say you can roll this at advantage. Even though you are hard to be able to kind of tell social cues, you are giving off a presence as you both enter into this, because he's basically a 4-foot cat with a 6'6" tall dragon, and the cat is the one that's talking. I would say, yeah, roll a presence check with advantage. So add a d6 to your roll.
And just for Thor, correct?
Just for Thor, yeah. So Thor would do this.
So
It's-
just double checking. I would just roll as normal, and then I just click advantage, or
Roll as normal, and then yes, click advantage. Yeah.
oh, okay, gotcha. Here we go.
See if I
So
joined.
Oh, yep.
I joined Google Meets.
Oh, yes, thank you. Sorry, that was my bad.
That was my
And-
bad. Sorry.
no, you're good. I was gonna say that is a 22 with hope.
22 with hope. Okay, so the group of guards kind of like looks into your both general direction, and the guy who's been sort of talking this whole time, and he kind of goes, "Oh, great! Even more weird-looking strangers. I say you four leave, and leave
I don't-
now."
I don't know
told
whether
you.
the weird's a compliment, but I mean, we are strangers, and don't you want a little more people in this area? I mean, it seems like company around here is real tough.
Strangers are freeloaders. You take our firewater, you take our resources, and we are just trying to survive out here. The more we let in, the more the less that it comes to our families. And I think it's probably best if you just leave.
What do you mean, take from you? Everything's an exchange. Last time I looked, there's been money thrown around for the resources. What are you talking about?
At this point, can I ask, is my drink from the barkeep ready?
Oh yeah, no, the barkeep is just not wanting to get involved. He basically just pours a cup and just puts it onto the on the side of or the edge of the countertop, knowing that you'd probably have to reach up to be able to grab it. Yeah, he's and then he just steps back.
I just grab the drink and I hold it. Go ahead, Trush. Go ahead, Ellie.
And as you can see, that obviously now I've been offended to the point where now the stoicness is starting to seep into the stubbornness of what has happened here. Someone's just making up something on the spot. It's starting to get under my scales a little bit here.
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and I don't like this. I don't like what you said about the freeloading. I'm gonna throw the drink at him right in the face.
Okay. Roll for attack. I would just say. I would just say roll your in this particular case, because it's a makeshift sort of weapon.
You know what? Actually, I have a question. Can I make him eat the cup?
What do you mean eat the cup?
I mean, I want his teeth in that cup.
Oh, okay. Then this would definitely be a strength roll, as you're trying to like to literally just kind of punch the teeth out of this dude. So yeah, I would say roll your your duality dice, and then add your strength to strength and your add your strength to it as well.
All right, so I'll walk up to the guy and I'm just gonna be like, "Here, have a drink on me," and that is going to be 16, but with fear.
Okay, that does succeed. But I would say no. Actually, I need to add the fear, not to subtract a fear. What do I do?
Actually, let me see something. Let me
You can
see
subtract it.
something. Because I'm wondering if I can re-roll for this.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I
I'm
mean, you
trying to
do
see if there's-
succeed. Here's the thing: you do succeed. So you basically you grab that, like you instantly kind of grab that cup, and I would say we kind of going with the original idea. You threw the cup straight at his face, and you were able to nail him like perfectly in the mouth as his head goes back, and you see one tooth kind of pop out. They're not necessarily hygienic in these communities. Teeth can pop out at any given moment. There's no toothpaste in this world, and so he's basically so he kind of goes hits back. Midori and Eustace, what do you want to do at this point? You see a cat basically just actually kind of literally throw a cup out and knocked a tooth out of the guy that's been bugging you.
I at least look up, and I'm just kind of just getting more excited. I wasn't looking to see the entertainment that was gonna happen for tonight's festivities, but I kind of just throw in an exclamation towards the person, the guard that got his tooth knocked out, and then just kind of did a little, ha ha, you look prettier now.
Okay. Yeah. Dory? What do you want to do?
So I'm kind of sitting back, just kind of watching all of this happen with like a little bit of a smirk coming up on my face. But I don't like kind of how vulnerable I feel at the moment. So I'm just going to blink over to the shadow that is being cast by this 6-foot giant dragon.
Okay.
And hiding in the shadows ends up being cloaked beside you. Trush, you might be able to sense there's someone in your shadow, but basically kind of behind you and a little bit off to the side. I'm just
Which side?
with us. Let's roll. Because she wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
It would depend on where the light's coming from.
And so I'm trying to think of my reaction based off of where
Yeah, exactly.
I could sense you.
But I'm gonna be honest, she's not gonna know which side. So even is right, odd is left.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll.
And I rolled odd, so left.
So I probably didn't notice you, is how I would assume that based off of my lack of hearing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all you want to do?
I'm just smirking at kind of the trouble I caused.
Okay. I
want to pick up the tooth.
Oh, you want to pick up the tooth? Okay. I'm gonna spend.
I'm just gonna kind of do this in my hand right now. It just kind of playing with a little bit.
Okay. I would say that the one of the guards, I'm going to spend a fear to basically have one of the guards try to be able to roll to be able to hit you as you're going to pick up the tooth.
Totally.
So does a 11 hit you? That's based on your evasion.
So my evasion's 9.
9. Okay, so that will hit you. Sorry.
Can I work with him to place my dagger to stop that? Is there any way that like I can help like counter?
Oh, right, because you're hidden. Oh,
yeah.
I'm
and I have no
okay.
idea either that you're hidden there.
Okay.
Can I just to like? No, I don't want to stab.
Right.
But I'm just putting the dagger in between to be like, nah.
Right. So basically, like to kind of prevent the punch, or like nail, like hit his fist as he's trying to be able to throw it. Okay. I would say for this, roll an attack for your throwing dagger, and see what happens.
So then that's the 2d12, right?
Yes, that's the 2d12. Yeah, that's your. It'll be your,
Perfect.
and then whatever it is for your attack
And
for
it's
that
a
weapon.
+2. Okay. So 15 + 2 is a 17, and with hope.
And with hope, okay, yeah. As he's about to throw a punch to this, just kind of almost this towering a sort of Dracona, but it kind of is bending down to be able to pick up the tooth. You like all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, a knife just appears embedded into his fist, and you can see like he opens up his palm, and it's like now the knife is completely through, and he just kind of just starts screaming and
then the blade blinks back and it's gone.
Yeah.
So now it's just a hole.
Yeah, and he just like, and he freaks out and he runs out of the tavern. And I'll just say, you know what? Let's roll for it. Let's see.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no. Basically, everyone else just kind of like starts to run. The guy who has been sort of harassing you this whole time, kind of like just like holds onto his mouth because his tooth is now gone. And it's like, fuck you, and just runs off. And right now, I think everyone else kind of had also disappeared except for the bartender. And the bartender just without even saying a word pours 4 glasses, like shot glasses of fire water, and just kind kind of puts them at the edge of the bar. Doesn't say anything. It's up to you. But yeah, now you're the only 4 in the bar. And this is
before everyone drinks the water, I want to
quick.
do a little bit of fire breathing on top of it, so it actually balances out what's going on in this weird concoction. So it's actually a much more pleasant and subtle drink than before.
And also, before that guy runs out, just to add insult to injury, since I'm in front of him, I'm just going to trip him as he's running out because he clearly doesn't notice me. And yeah, I'm going to let him trip and bang his face onto the ground if he can. So.
Roll an agility roll for me.
All right, perfect. Just a little bit of extra insult. Let's see. Here we go. That is going to be an 11 with fear.
Okay.
I'm racking up these fear points.
Yep. I'll say, you know what? I'll spend a fear that he kind of stumbles a little bit, but still kind of sprints out the door. So it doesn't completely trip him, but just enough to kind of like to put the period on the sentence that is get out. So yeah. And as you kind of like breathe fire on the top of the glasses, the rims just sort of like have these sparks of flame. The bartender doesn't even really say much. He just kind of like just looks at you and just nods kind of like with approval and like, okay. I
was gonna say, as I reach to grab the cup, I'd like to drop double what I know the drinks were worth to just like to the barkeep to just be like, and double to what like
okay
it would cost.
So the way the currency works within Daggerheart is that it's kind of based off of it's not like dollar amounts. It's sort of like handfuls is sort of like anything, any kind of coin you can fit in your hand. Then there's bags of coins, and then there's chests. So I'd say you basically kind of throw like a little bit. Normally it would be a handful to be able to pay for the drinks, but you kind of throw a bag, and he kind of the bartender kind of nods and quietly, and then just kind of goes back to his business. And so yeah, the 4 of you just kind of standing or sitting in there. And what do you do?
Real quick, I want to know, is the tooth that I picked up of any value at the moment?
No, it's like a rotted tooth.
Oh, it's a rotted tooth. So it okay.
No
so
gold
I'm
in
just
this
gonna.
one.
I flick that out the doorway too.
Alone.
No, yeah,
Right.
this is definitely not the golden tooth for Home Alone. That's for sure.
Darn it. Okay. Well, then I flick it outside the door's way a little bit, just to get it out of there.
Okay, cool.
So, nice to meet y'all. I'm guessing you're strangers here?
As I told the gentleman who seemed to be got his knickers in a knot, strangers are only people you haven't met. I'm Midori.
Well, I'm Thorkara. It's nice to meet you. I kind of like lift up my arm like very high to.
And then I also pick up Thorkara just to give a little bit extra length.
And then just
by
a
the
little
tuft.
bit just more description of like my chair. You kind of just hear the chair like this like little bit of like a metal and wood creaking together, kind of just push forward, and I kind of just bustle out and kind of scream from a little bit because I'm probably the shortest one there. Kind of scream up and hey, I'm Eustace. And then I kind of notice that because probably I'm gonna come up on around your left side, Trush. See that maybe you didn't really hear what I said. So then I kind of move my beard out so you can see my lips, and then say, "Hey, I'm Eustace," and then just greet y'all with a big smile.
And then, of course, because of my lip reading ability and by moving the beard out of the way, that was actually very helpful. So I could understand what Eustace was saying, because again, being on my left side, poor hearing, with the reading the lips, boom, I was able to actually understand. Nice to meet you. So, is this normal fare for you two to start fights?
I look at Eustace. Normal?
Yeah, and then as Dory's looking over at Eustace, he's like getting these little ties, kind of move his like beard and this kind of like large looking mustache thing. So then you're able to just always read his face. So he has like a long beard and then like this bearded mustache thing going on that's tied off. And said, I was here and we had some of that firewater and yeah, there's just a lot of entertainment going on. So we were just chilling out. So what were y'all here for?
We were looking for drinks. The last couple places we went to, well, it wasn't the best, and I'm not even looking for good. I'm just looking for something I can drink. But yep.
And
so we came here.
And you still see the shots of firewater kind of just still sitting at the bar with the fire still kind of lipping the or just lipping the edge of the glasses.
So I noticed that it's still lipping, but it's now starting to be where it's cooled down enough from the brim that they are going to be safe to drink, so you don't burn your lips. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, as you could tell, we travel quite a bit here, and it's hard to find people who are willing to sit down and have a conversation. So thank you for whoever protected me.
You're welcome.
And I raise my glass to all of you for looking out for one another. In this place, it's a hard thing to find.
I'm fine with the raising, but can we lower for the toast?
I use my tail to lift you up higher, so now you're at the same exact height as everyone.
There we go.
Perfect.
And as everyone cheers and slams down the fire water, it hits you all kind of like in a it has a punch. That those ashes from the sacred pyre are hit hard, and from that moment we kind of fade out from this memory, and we see you four. You are now coming close to the temple of Hakara, and it's now kind of around sort of a sunset, so it's starting to kind of get a bit dark out. You can definitely see the pyre it's kind of like this main sort of like thoroughfare road with this gate and this wall around this community, but then you see a bunch of different buildings and some tents kind of around it. But straight ahead in this roadway is the pyre, and it's a very tall 15-foot flame that is constantly roaring, and you can even feel the heat from coming from just outside of the walls that you're walking towards, and you see a tall, very gothic looking, almost church type building. It's basically tall steeples and large large kind of central door and steps leading up to it, and it's definitely seen its better days. It's been bombarded with just the ruin of the land and the Umbra within the century that it's been since it sort of stood tall and proud as a proper temple. And I want y'all to want someone to make an instinct roll for me.
All right, which one of you's got the good instinct?
I think that's me, right?
I think so. Yeah.
It only takes 1 point to be a winner.
Yeah.
13 with hope.
13 with
Nice.
hope. Okay.
Nice.
So
This dice is rolling for me.
yeah. So Dory, you notice it. You notice it first. There's no guards. There's no the gate is wide open. There's no people walking along walking in the street. Looks like there's signs of life. There's lights in the buildings, but there is no one outside.
Dory stops moving. So the rest of you, I don't know if you notice.
I get lower, since obviously I'm such a lumbering individual out here. I decided to lower myself more down to what would be considered an all fours type position.
Okay.
A squat down as well.
Yeah, and as kind of. Oh yeah, sorry. What would you want to do, Eustace?
Oh no, yeah, I was gonna just say, just like huddle in a little bit closer, but really it's so quiet that the only thing that you hear is my chair moving around.
Okay.
And I'd
Right.
keep it still as possible.
Okay. Yep. You definitely, as sort of Dorius paused and you all are crouching down. Yeah. You all now notice that there is nobody out here, which is like, especially like. Yeah, you might not see a huge sort of amount of people that are just that are wandering around at night. It's kind of near the end of the day. People are about to kind of going home or about to spend the night in their homes. But to be able to not see any guards whatsoever, this is unusual.
So now, question about the unusual. Is this an unusual type of phenomenon that would be recognizable if noted in historical pieces?
I think just it's just general
unique?
sort of like world knowledge, like the fact that there's no guards protecting the walls and protecting the gate, because the Umbra is like ever present. It's not like they just take a break during the night.
Right.
Creatures can come up out of nowhere and kind of start attacking the community. Yes, they're protected by the pyre, but it doesn't mean that attacks don't happen. But so the fact that like they're like y'all basically know that because there's no guards. This is, and I would even say with that, as you now are looking, there's no signs of any like any damage or anybody like fight or nothing is brought out. It just looks like it's just everywhere is just empty. There's just no people.
Well, this is weird.
I don't like this.
You say this out loud, Thor?
Like as a whisper to Trust, who's right next to me. Although
On my left side or my right side?
on your left side.
As you can tell, I don't react.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not in front of me, I won't be able to pick up on any.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think about it, but yeah, I've probably been trailing on the left side.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
I want to be able to, with this situation, Eustace has become a little bit more trying to be proactive, because usually when things have been quiet, you know, it's very unusual, especially in a place where we think people are going to be. So, I wanted to ask a question on, at least to you, Steve, as DM. Are there what like different areas, like alleyways or like crossroads, how many directions are there?
I would say you probably don't know just yet because you're still on the outside of the walls. You haven't ventured into the town, into the town just yet. But you do see kind of like the main street. There are buildings, and you can probably surmise that there is like alleyways in between the buildings. But it's there's just the main street, and you can see the pyre and the temple just off in the distance.
Okay.
Is there? Oh, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just wanted to whisper everyone is, we can always go back where we like once traveled, and then maybe make another assessment. And that was just a suggestion.
I don't know if we'll be safe at night.
Hmm.
So
Love the pun there.
asking the DM a question here. From where we are now, do we know roughly an idea of how far away to the next community, or is this?
It's far.
Do not have a map.
Yeah,
Okay.
it took you 2 days just to get to this place, and it'll be another couple of days before you can be able to reach any other close pyre. Like I said, this was
We all share
the
that knowledge
furthest
together.
Yeah, this was the last kind of like furthest outpost with a pyre that there was before you started getting into more populated areas.
Now, this pyre is still active, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
How active is it? Like blazing, or is it like really whittled down?
It
I
always
would
is.
just imagine it just needs to be active. correct?
Yes, it needs to be active.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
So it just like as long as it's still burning, it is. But this is also rare, and this is kind of just more general world knowledge, in that there's always someone tending to the fire. Yes, it's a sacred branch or blessed branch that sparks an actual pyre and kind of has that effect where it will protect people that around it. But they still still need sort of just regular fire maintenance and just to kind of keep it still going with just regular tinder and all that. And there's no one tending to the pyre right now. It's still going, and it could still go for quite a while without anyone tending it. But that's also rare. No one is protecting the pyre right now.
Can I ask, does it seem like it's been refreshed recently? Because it sounds like it's active, so it sounds like to me and my player voice, I'm thinking of this as it seems like somebody has tended to the flame, but that there's just nobody around.
I would say roll a knowledge check for me.
All right. And I was going to say, based on like where I grew up and growing up near Trush in the same academic backgrounds, going near the same place, can I use that as a background for my knowledge as well? Like,
no, not to the point where you can gain advantage. I would say not really. Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of like just kind of going into your own personal like knowledge and history to see if there's anything you can think of that.
I got a 7 in fear.
Okay. We'll take that fear. Yeah, you don't know. It's also sort of hard to tell from a bit from this distance, but half of it is also. I mean, it's like that a pyre can be maintained or without any maintenance for a while. But just for safety's sake, it's always like they kind of there's always someone tending to it. They kind of call themselves the pyre keepers, and they take that very seriously. It is almost in a way almost like can be potentially like even like more like a religious type like thing to be able to be the protector of the sacred pyres. So this
okay.
is again this is very odd.
I have a question. Is it easy for, even if it's myself or any of us, to be able to tell if people have gone underground from this location? They might not be actively above ground right now, but maybe they have found it to be safer to be underground for whatever.
I would say roll instinct for me.
Okay.
Welcome in, Raiders, by the way. Oh, it's Calamity. It's hi, Calamity. Thanks for the raid.
We know you.
Wow.
Hi, friend.
23 with hope.
23 with hope.
Wow.
Okay, very good. Okay.
I would say success on Trush.
I would say with that kind of a roll, there is no signs of digging or just like entrances into the kind of underground. Again, it looks like that there is life in these buildings. There are lights kind of you can see from the inside the windows. Maybe if you kind of, I'd say actually a 23 with hope, I could say you could even see that there is even activity inside the temple. It just looks like, again, there's just no one outside, and it's pretty quiet, like eerily quiet.
Would you like me to go in there?
Go in where?
There. And she points at the town. I can dash in and dash out.
Quick question.
How far do you think you can get?
Are you all whispering this, or are you saying this out loud?
I mean,
Whispering.
out loud, but whispering within our like loud enough, just within our little circle of sorts.
And favoring the right ear.
Okay. Perfect. So I could actually hear. Which again, as a reminder to everyone, you don't have to speak out loud if you don't want to, because I have lip reading.
The rest of us, though.
I have to speak out loud if I talk. And then obviously, yeah, in that instance, but just if we need to. But yeah, Dory.
Yes.
Can you quickly get to the temple from here and back?
I can certainly try. There's flying, or I can shadow dash.
Can you use the shadows of the pyre to get really close?
I can go far, so it would depend to the DM how far we are.
I'd say
from
you are
the pyre.
definitely far distance to the temple.
I could get there and get back.
Does everyone else agree?
I mean, if I'm being realistic here, I almost feel like it's a bad idea to go into a place that's not really. Part of me says, yeah, just fly over or something, but I don't know. This already feels very
We could
weird.
throw a rock in there.
I feel like it would honestly be best to just see if we can walk in and see if we're greeted by somebody rather than trying to sneak in or trying to get in. I don't know. This just feels a little bit weird to me.
Okay.
And I feel like the pyres protect us, so we're not gonna get murdered by Umbra beasts or whatever. We just, if there's people here, they'll probably come out when we go. But trying to sneak in is gonna. I feel like that would just ask other questions that we don't really want to have to try and justify.
They're gonna hear me coming, either way. So we can have somebody go and scout ahead at least, and then if it's any immediate danger, we
They might
turn
not
around.
sense I'm in there.
Yeah, my thought exactly.
Hi,
We
Rangers, that way.
shouldn't go. Only Dory, so she can sneak in and sneak out.
I mean,
Alright.
all right, it's your choice. If you think that'll be the best, I trust you to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
What would you like? So you're what would you like to do, Dory?
So yeah, I will shadow step, so that I can still see them,
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm.
And I remain cloaked when I get in there, but being able to get in to get a better view of what's going on, to see if I can see into windows, to see if there's movement. Like, I know that we can see that there's life, but to put myself in a good position to be able to see more.
Yeah. I would say definitely. Yeah. Is there any particular thing you have to do to be able to do that shadow step, or is it
The stress.
it's just a
You
mark
take
of
a
stress?
stress.
Okay.
Mhm.
I want you to also roll a finesse roll for me.
Ooh, okay. That I can do.
Just to kind of see how well you blend into the shadows.
That's a 22 with hope.
22 with hope. Okay. You are definitely you're able to basically kind of blink out of the area that you were standing in, and all of a sudden, Eustace, Thorin, and Trush, you see what looks like just what you thought was maybe a shadow, just like kind of movement, but it just with a quick little flash, but. Dory, you are right near the temple, and you're just kind of just hidden in the shadow of the steeple as it kind of rises is risen overhead, just you are definitely in the shadows.
And what do I see? Like, do I see people? Do I see, like, I know that we can see evidence of people, but do I actually see people?
Make an instinct roll for me.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So many rolls. 8 and 4 is 12 plus 1, 13 with hope.
13
This
with hope.
hope die is working for me.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting. I would say, where are you looking? Inside the temple, or just like kind of just looking around the town?
I'm looking inside the temple. I'm trying to look in windows if I can see movement of people through windows, through the light, movement of light. Yeah.
There, you can see in the temple. There's no one really there, but you can see that there's candlelight lit inside. Kind of a quick little peek in there. You can. It just looks like obviously the temple has seen better days. The pews are broken and shattered, and there may be like one or two pews that are just sort of somewhat standing. There are candles kind of near the altar, and a lot of what would have been stained glass windows have been either boarded up or just smashed, but there's no one inside. But you can kind of look through towards just scoping out the town from that particular like height of the steps, and you can see potentially into one of the buildings that's closest to the temple, and you can see that there are people inside, and they are just one of them's like potentially like fussing over something maybe in the kitchen, and there's one sort of like maybe sitting at a table, but it doesn't look like that they are doing anything out of the ordinary.
I don't sense anything dangerous.
No, nothing dangerous.
Okay, I will step out of the shadows as like a kind of showing my friends that it's okay, and do a like shrug, like come join me.
What do you?
All right.
What do y'all do?
Start walking towards. I'm just like, well, I guess that means it's all right, and just kind of bound away in my.
Do you say that out loud or in a whisper?
I just say that out loud because I don't assume anything is any different. I just say, well, I guess it's all right to go, and yeah.
And I don't say anything because I had no reason to say anything. But I do now stand back up to my.
For Kara, you take
full
8
height.
points of magic damage.
Okay, wow. Ooh,
As
I
all of
made
a sudden
mistakes.
something just, it's kind of like one of those is like, you don't feel it at first, but all of a sudden just this pure, like just this thing just kind of like envelops you and strikes across your chest. There's no wound or anything, but it all of a sudden, like, you just feel this like searing hot pain as something just like you didn't see it. There's nothing, like it just all of a sudden you were fine, then all of a sudden now you have this sharp pain on your chest.
So I take a point of damage, and I just kind of like grasp at my chest and just like kind of out of shock because I don't know what's done it, and I kind of just go like, yeah, and I just kind of like duck down, and
As you scream,
oh,
you take
no!
you take another 9 points of damage.
Okay, so quick question. So I have tier 1, it's the thresholds are 9 and 19. So because it's 9, does that mean I'm still within the threshold for
That
1
would
point of
no
damage?
that goes into major damage if you hit that
Okay,
the
so
exact
then-
threshold. Yeah, it's
Oh,
yeah.
okay, then I need to be okay at this point.
Actually, let me look that up real quick, because I believe the threshold is 9. Yeah, I think it's so sorry. No, that would be minor damage. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 9 or
you got me
lower.
scared.
So yeah. Sorry, it's
I
10 to whatever would be the major threshold damage. So I apologize.
Thank God I went unarmored. Because otherwise I'd be at 5 points of damage right now, and I only have 6.
Oh my god.
I just kind of like realize that when I'm talking that something happens. I just kind of like clutch my chest, and I just like put one shaky hand up like.
Yeah, and as you do so, all of a sudden, someone like a quick door opens kind of off to the side, and you see a tall elf woman kind of with her hair sort of like pulled back into a ponytail, with leather armor and a bow. As she's kind of pulling the bow at the like from her back and at the ready. She sees all of you and just like quickly puts up a finger to their mouth, say just shush, and then motions for all of you to come near to her.
I get on all fours and I just like run over like the Grudge. Just
Yeah, and she runs back towards the door that she just came out of and holds the door open for you all, and she kind of like is ushering you to, silently to go inside.
Now, question: does the sounds that Eustace's chair make, are those loud enough?
No, they wouldn't be.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Because I was getting ready to pick him
I
up.
was about to prep my shield. That's why just because of that, I was gonna prep my shield and be like,
Okay.
can I propel? So I can move around and have my tower shield out. Right, is one-handed,
Mhm.
but I just can't use my wheelchair as a weapon because I'm using the.
You have the
It's
shield
the
out. Yep,
wheelchair's
that's true.
two-handed.
Yep, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I guess I'm just terrified, but a little bit curious. Like, this is me, Thor, talking.
Yeah.
Just wondering, like, is this talking or is this all noise? And I'm very scared to figure out which one it is.
Right.
And
So we're all inside the place.
did you all run inside the building?
Yes.
Same with
I
you,
didn't
Dory?
run, I walked,
But
but
I was gonna
yes.
say, and before I go in, I'm waiting to make sure that Dory gets in, and then I go in.
Okay. And as you all enter in, it's this home with like a bed kind of in the corner. Again, the world of the Halcyon Domain, it's not very luxurious. So it's just kind of a basic bed, basic kind of cot, a little bit of like a kitchen sort of area with like shelves that kind of have some basic sort of food, and then there's a central table. And as this elf woman kind of ushers you in, she closes the door and immediately starts like unlatching or like latching up the locks on the door, and really like, and then she kind of motions towards the table, and you see that there actually is a kind of a some scraps of paper, blank sheets of paper that are on the table, and she kind of like furiously writes on the blank pages and holds up the one of the pages, and it says, "Whisper only." And what do you do?
So whispering.
Yep.
What's out there?
She kind of like looks over at you as you say this, Trush, and I would say that because of your particular abilities, you notice her eyes are kind of like not looking at your eyes; they're kind of looking a little bit down. You know that move because it's the same move that you do. She's reading your lips.
Excellent.
And she basically, as you say, like what's out there, she kind of like writes down on the sheets of paper, basically saying, "We don't know what it is." And then she kind of writes again and says, "Anytime a loud noise occurs above a whisper, someone gets hurt."
Oh, when you say like above a loud noise, are you talking just speaking or are you talking any noise?
And she writes down again, "Any noise."
Mm.
I lean in for another question, whispering. Does time of day matter?
She shakes her head no, and then she starts writing, and she's writing like her penmanship is actually like really good. This is all like you, and I think that Thorkar and Trush, you kind of know that from a learned
Can everyone
background.
read?
Sorry?
Can everyone in this team read?
I think everyone has like a basic knowledge of reading, unless you, Dory or Eustace, have a particular thing with your character that you don't know how to read. But everyone, I think, can be able to pretty much read and speak basically kind of like a common language.
Cool.
But you can see, I think Thor and Trush, you definitely see that her penmanship is looks as if someone has like had to learn how to write. It's not pretty. It's not like a learned sort of like a like free flowing kind of like handwriting, like cursive, but it's legible, and it's and she's writing it fast, but it's not like chicken scratch. It is actually legible. And
wow. Okay.
She's kind of writing for quite a few, like for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then she hands you Trush the piece of paper, and as you read it, it says, a ritual happened a few days ago. Ever since then, something was unleashed. That anyone above speaks above a whisper gets hurt. Some have died. We don't know what it is, but they are in the temple. And any attempts to enter the temple has been foiled.
Does my background knowledge in academia have any idea of creatures that adhere to that type of ritual and then want to hide into like a sacred or temple-like place?
I would say, and I think Thor, you could probably, you could probably do this as well if you want, if you like. I would say for both of you, if you want to roll like a knowledge check.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Or if Dorian uses, if you feel like that maybe potentially in your past with like surviving, if you feel like you want to be able to roll a knowledge check as well, I would let you do that too.
I rolled a 10 in fear.
Okay.
18 in fear.
Okay.
I did not roll.
When Steve smiles, I don't.
I know.
Also, the
You've got
other
a great
thing I was
smile,
wondering.
Steve, but
The other thing
No,
I
great
was
smile.
the other
Sorry,
thing I was
sorry.
wondering is the damage I took outside, is that like was that a physical attack across my chest?
That was a physical attack across your chest. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, was it magical?
Sorry if I said magical. I apologize. It was supposed to be physical damage. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's my
No,
bad.
you are. So like, I'm guessing there's like visible mark. Okay, I just need to.
Yeah,
make
I think
sure.
you like look down at your chest where the two sort of like where you're feeling the most amount of pain. You could definitely see that there are red marks, kind of almost like claw marks, that are kind of across your chest.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would. Oh yeah, sorry. With the who rolled the higher with the fear?
I did. I
Trush.
think I got the 18.
18. Okay.
17 plus 1.
I would say you haven't heard of anything that sort of attacks anyone like for any like with any noise above a whisper. That is new, but you have heard of there can be invisible, more ghost-like creatures in the Umbra that the connection between ghostly figures and spectral figures and a specific thing against loud noises or just loud voices, you have no you've not heard of that before.
Do we know of ritual? Obviously, rituals typically are supposed to be in the honor of or something that's supposed to be good as a part of it. Do we know if something maybe went afoul during a ritual that we would have a reason to question it and then maybe inquire from her more information?
If you want to ask her that, for sure, yeah. And
what happened at the ritual?
She kind of starts writing down again. And I'll just say that part of the success of that knowledge check, the thing with Daggerheart is that there are things you can be able to do called countdowns, and every time you do a certain thing for that countdown, it can be lowered to the point where if it gets down to 0, then either something can happen. But this is a good countdown. This is something that you're finding out this information about what it is that's actually happening. So you have officially started the countdown, and you've moved down from a 6 to a 5. just by thinking about or trying to go with your knowledge about what like if there's any type of creatures that you've sort of ascertained. And so as you're kind of asked about the ritual, she goes, I don't know what happened at the ritual. All of a sudden, there was a loud noise and a singing note, and then silence.
What ritual did you perform? And the reason why I'm asking this is obviously my knowledge base is that certain ones, it's less likely that something's going to go awry, but there's other types of rituals that things could maybe go much more awry than the believers want to believe.
Sure. She writes down in all capital letters, all caps, I don't know. And you can see that her face is just kind of like one of sorrow, like not like a defiant I don't know, but of a I wish I could tell you. I wish I could I could tell you what's going on. I wish I could be able to tell you more information, but I don't know.
Do we know of any specters or ghost creatures that also start to wipe people's memories? Is that common knowledge or knowledge based off of what we know?
Yeah, I would say not necessarily common knowledge, but still I think with that the kind of knowledge check, because you're kind of going through your mind of all your research that you've done of like different sort of creatures that live in the Umbra, that kind of pop up in the Umbra occasionally, and as far as you know, no.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna look on over to the rest of the team, maybe first at Thorkara, kind of like, what do we want to do now?
I mean, we're here, and it's pretty much nightfall at this point, and I think at this point we're just gonna have to keep. Like, I have no clue what this is. I don't even think I'd know where to begin with what this is, but we have a starting point. We could try and look into it, but I mean, I don't know if these two here want to do that. So I mean, like, and I kind of look to Midori and Eustace and just, you guys up for a little spelunking, seeing if we can figure out what this is? Because I mean, I don't really know what our other options are.
And then I just follow the gaze of Thorkara to both of them as well.
I kind of just laugh and I'm like, I'm a loud snorer, so I don't think I'll last long in this place.
I look at her and I ask, what happened to the people that went inside? Has anyone tried to go inside since?
She reads your lips and takes a second, and you can see that the tears start to kind of roll down her cheek, and they hit some teardrops hit the paper and stains it as she writes, yes, some went inside and never made it out. I need help.
And then I just shrug and say, in we go.
Yeah, as you know, she's explaining all this stuff that's happening, and I realize that noise is something we need to minimize. I kind of been looking around and hearing the conversation, and I grab this like grease and I just start like putting it all over parts of my wheelchair and kind of start moving around, and then you hear that it was once very clunky has now become very, very just soft movements in. So kind of look around and say like, well, at least we got one noise thing, less thing to worry about. And I look over at Dory and kind of remember that there were times where people needed help. And it was actually some experience that we've had with each other and how we met, is that we needed help, and there wasn't anybody else to do it, and except the person that crossed the path. And we've happened to cross the path with this town and this person, and we're also looking for a place to maybe call home. And right now we're on that journey, but I think this is what I say out loud is I think these people need us, and I'm down for whatever. Like, I'm just preparing to do whatever. Hopefully we're going to go into the temple and maybe break whatever the ritual has done.
And just to clarify, I know I'm probably assuming the answer. When you said you say this out loud, I assume it's a whisper?
Yes.
Okay, good.
All very whisper.
I think we're all
but
just
very
whispering
poppy.
from this
Yes.
point on.
Yes.
I was literally gonna reply like, you mean a whisper, right? You mean a whisper?
Yeah, exactly. Boom.
Okay, good. I'm not one of those DMs basically like no, but
It immediately comes inside the house and kills everyone. Reroll new characters.
exactly.
Yeah,
Reroll
I
the
guess I
characters.
said that all because I
Instant
realized
death.
that the volume needed to be a lot lower, and so that was like one of the reasons why too I was, softening the noise of what my wheelchair makes.
I decided to put my hand on Eustace's shoulder there and reiterate, no one left behind.
Ooh.
I do have another question for this. I don't know if it's a young lass or not, but
Yep, she's about like for an elf, she's
yeah,
pretty
for-
young.
Yeah.
She's pretty young
Okay.
for an elf. Like 70.
How- Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is young for an elf. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What have you found out when it lashes out?
She kind of again starts writing down and she goes or she says one of the priests of the temple had started this ritual. We don't know what is attacking silently, but we know they are the source. And she goes into her like a cabinet, and you can see that there are like piles of papers, and she grabs more and puts them onto the table. And actually, I think she even kind of does some like hand gestures, and it like looks towards you, Trush, and I would say like with the knowledge that you have, a little bit of kind of like some basic sort of a sign language, and she kind of quickly asks as she kind of looks over the rest of you, "Can I trust you in sign?"
And then I will swan back. Yes. I don't know how to actually, so I'm not gonna pretend like I do. So.
Okay. All right. She nods, and then and she kind of looks to all you. Anyone want to ask her anything else?
I do have one more question.
Mm-hmm. She kind of looks over towards you.
What happens when two sounds are made at the same time?
She writes down. Actually, in this point, she would actually assign to you. No, sorry. She'll write it down because she kind of understands that probably no one else could be able to speak a sign language. And she starts signing, and then she realizes no. She starts writing down. And she goes, "I have been too afraid to experiment with my life like that."
So I look over at Thorkara.
At this point,
Well,
Well, I'm down to try, but
That's what
Like-
I thought I would expect from you.
I decided at this point to or go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna kind of like panic wave. Can we rest before we go in?
You can do it. You can take a short rest if you like.
Because I'm like trying to think if you guys are gonna take damage.
Mhm.
She's like panicking, being like, if you want to experiment, like you need to make sure that you have enough time to take care of yourself. Like you can see that in her panic mode.
I was just gonna pop my potion, but short
Well,
rest
I
is probably a good idea.
Good. So
both.
I don't know small rest versus long rest, for example. In a small rest, how much health do you get back?
So you actually can spend a short rest action. You can do basically, like I said, one of two moves in a short rest. You can either. Sorry, I'm just bringing this up on my end here so you can see. And my iPad has just decided to. There we go. So you can either tend to wounds. You can either clear stress, repair armor, or prepare, which is basically like kind of prepare for like any changing out any spells if you had that kind of deal, like any kind of your domain cards, or basically you can you won't have time to be able to do like a project. That's kind of more for a long rest. So with the tending to hit points, you roll 1d4 and you gain that amount of hit points back.
And does everyone have to agree to the same action?
Nope,
or
this is
does each
all
person-
this is all individual.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You know
So the
what?
reason why I brought this up is because currently I haven't taken any damage, so I would think we could test it right now.
You can
before
tend to an ally.
resting.
You can absolutely do that. I believe. Yeah, you don't have to spend a hope or anything like that to be able to do it. You can tend to an ally and you can roll a d4 to help them clear clear any hit points if you want to be able to do that.
So before we make a decision, party, what do you think? Should the two of us test it out and then rest for the heal, since we don't have to go in anywhere to test out this theory for damage?
Do you think it'll affect all of us though?
I mean, it only affected me earlier when I tried, and technically the only ones who really have to try this are me and Trush.
Mhm.
Like, and
Mhm.
also I was thinking if we have any liquid, it might be a good idea to sprinkle some of that on the ground where we are so we can see what the size of this thing is based on its footprint. Because if it steps into someplace that's wet, it will leave an impression. So do we have any type
It's
of liquid?
flying.
Well, that's what I want to see. Regardless, it could be something, and it can give us a better idea of how to fight it. If we can fight it. Like,
Is there
E-
any liquid around? Because I'd be
Um,
down in.
Do you ask this out loud?
Um,
No, I know it's a whisper. Not, I'm not asking for. Yeah.
Whisper, Gina, in a whisper.
Because the thing is, she like
Proximity of our
the only one who can answer is this elf woman.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I say it loud enough for the elf woman to hear, and ask, is there any large amounts of liquid around?
Yeah, she pulls out goes to the corner and has like grabs a cup from a shelf and kind of goes into a wash basin and pours water into the cup, and she kind of hands it over to or she puts it on the table.
And then
wow.
I'll point at that and say, Thorkar, is this enough? And
I
just
think
point to the
that-
cup.
I think that should be enough. Can we have 2 of those? And I just because I want to.
So yeah, you
I
say
wanna
she kind of like
Yeah,
hold
one
up
for
to.
each of
Yeah,
us,
so she
yeah.
goes and grabs
Two.
another a second cup. Yeah.
So here's my plan, Trush. We go out there and we stand, let's say, 10 meters apart. 10 meters. And we can both yell at the same time.
Mhm.
But before that, we put water right in front of us, and we make it a wide enough circle so that whatever it would be would have to be, because when I got attacked, it attacked me from the front. It attacked me right here on my chest. So I'm thinking that whatever it is whatever it is, it would have had to have been in front of me. And if it's not something that's flying, it should leave an impression. So all we need to do is make sure we spread that water out so it'll step in it. So at the very least, we can tell how big it is, and we can also tell whether or not it can get both of us at the same time. Just to see both. Go on.
I could also try and throw my dagger in front of you.
Yeah, you know what? You seem pretty handy with a blade. I trust you. I trust you. So,
Okay.
Agreements here.
I look at Steve and he smiles, and I hated that.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. It's hey, this is all your decision.
And this is the part where Thor Kara had their eye patch arc.
No, I would, like, knowing that you said it came here, I would stand, like, throwing this way. You know what I mean? Instead of throwing at you, I'm going to throw in front of you.
Okay.
But yeah, so what do you think, Trush? Does that sound like a plan to you? Cause like, unless we have some way. Oh, hold on.
Could we throw dust?
We
Could
do
throw
have.
dust in the air.
Well, I was thinking, we have rope. I have 50 feet of rope, and does anybody have any dust? Because that would allow us to see an invisible creature.
There's dirt.
Check the ground.
I can blow smoke.
Wait, we wouldn't even if we do dust. What if we did wet dirt? Because we'll have the water on the dirt. It would stick to them a lot easier.
Let's hope that it sticks.
Jory, what do you think?
Let's do both.
Both what?
Sorkara's idea of this wet moistness in the air.
I would say
I can
that
blow smoke.
at this point, as you're like, the woman's kind of like, everyone's trying to be able to like read everyone else lips, and you're trying to be able to come up with this plan. She kind of writes down, it's like, if you're gonna, whatever you're gonna do it fast.
Should we do it outside of the village?
I think we should just. I think if it's just me and Trush, we should just do it outside of here, because when we did this earlier, it didn't seem to affect anyone other than the people who were doing it. But and I turn. Oh, go on.
No, I'm just like, you can tell she's getting a little antsy. Like, I'm just like, she doesn't have much patience. Dory does not have much patience, and you probably all would know this.
We get intimidated by her lack of patience.
Absolutely.
Mud. So I'm like, so she's kind of like, mud, potential dagger, yelling. Yes. Outside the village. Yes. Good.
If that's what you want to do, we can do it. Like, either way, I think it'll still come up with similar results.
Decision. This is a group decision.
Question, Steve.
Yes.
How is the shadow coverage in town versus outside of town?
The pyre light, it kind of extends beyond just the boundaries of the town, by a little bit, but not by like it's. You know, light obviously has like a way kind of like just spreading out into the darkness. So it's not like you kind of walk out the gate and there's like just no light whatsoever.
Okay, cool.
So it's kind of like a gradient of like,
So there's more shadows in town then.
What do you mean more shadows?
Well, I'm thinking of obviously for Dory, where is she going to be the maximum effective?
Because there's no moonlight So it's just whatever a light is being kind of from either lights kind of like just sconces outside or from inside or around the temple or the pyre. The pyre is kind of like the main source of light outside. But yeah, it's not like there's moonlight that's kind of like only like that where it's hard to be able to find shadows. So there's definitely areas to hide in the shadows for sure.
I pose one last thing to Dory, and I say, if something goes wrong, I think that it would be best for us to be inside the village. So this way we can come back in here. It's less travel. And that's my thoughts on that. So I vote for inside the village.
I just don't want to see anyone else hurt.
Yep, inside the village. That way Dory has the ability to shadow blink.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's... Well,
You ready, Thorkara?
yep. I guess I am. I guess we should do it.
Okay.
Quick little fist bump before we take off on this potentially damaging quest.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, I love that. There we go. Perfect. That works. Okay.
Yay.
So as you kind of make your way outside, I guess you would what? You were standing kind of in the middle of the main street.
That's kind of what I pictured. What about you, Thorkar?
Yeah, pretty much that. Pretty much like a duel in an old western, but without, the duel.
Gotcha.
And
And then my circle's going to be a little bit wider circumference-wise than Thorkara's, because obviously my tail has to be included, and I don't want my tail outside of that, assuming that what information that we're getting from it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
and do Eustace and I have mud? Is that, or is one of us doing mud and the other doing damage?
Yeah. What is it that you basically want to do? You want to like you want to like lift up, basically kind of like hold water in front to kind of catch footprints, and then dust to kind of maybe catch whatever the potential silent sort of things that are happening around. And that's that. And then Dory, are you thinking like to throwing I'm just trying to confirm, make sure what you're all talking about.
Yeah.
And so you throw in whatever you see in the dust. That's where you're just going to throw your knife towards.
Yeah, because in my circle, I'm just going to use smoke, which won't stick to them, but will still give me an idea of potential things punching through it or stabbing through or whatever it is.
Gotcha.
And then I have much more health and armor than Thorkara, so therefore I would think it'd be better to everyone to focus on that one. I can be that secondary one to see does it matter or not.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let me know, start whatever you want to do.
I'm
All right,
gonna-
I just start blowing smoke out my nostrils right now, just like holding the fire in my mouth as it and just starts enveloping my body and then starting to spread out for the full circle. While that's happening, what's happening with you, Thorkar?
I'm just laying out the water so that it's in a sizable amount while not wasting any of the water. I'm kind of just like making sure it adheres to the ground in a way that will create at least an impression. And yeah, and from there, just getting a handful of dirt. So if I have a reaction, I can throw it. But other than that, there's not much for Thorkara to really set up here. So,
And I'll just say that, yeah, Dory, you're kind of at the ready with your knife for any given moment. Eustace, what would you like to be doing during all this?
So I have my tower shield out, but it's kind of like dug into the ground a little bit, because as soon as the water or I want to be able to throw the dust. So I have the tower shield is dug in there pretty good, but enough for me to be able just to fling it and just be this huge plume of dust that would hopefully, well, I don't know if we have to roll for it, like hopefully just go on to the whatever is the entity that we're dealing with right now.
Okay, cool. All right.
I
Thor
have
and
one quick.
yeah,
I
go
have
for it.
one quick question. This is me considering my special interest of fighting styles, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Would there have been anything along my academia or anything about reading about invisible
opponents or dealing with opponents you can't see?
No.
Just tactics, not nothing.
Not really, because I think based on kind of the previous knowledge rolls that the information that kind of like Trush kind of shared, there's really nothing to like, because even the attack on your chest, it's like it's more like it's kind of more I guess instinctual. It's not necessarily like, oh, it's a sword attack or like it's almost like, in a way, not necessarily, it's kind of like a claw attack, but it's just two large kind of gashes, like, well, not necessarily like they were cut skin, but it's just like welts across your two welts across your chest.
The last thing I'll ask then is, did the welts or slashes appear across my chest instantaneously, or was it just
Instantaneously.
dragged? Okay. All right, cool. Then I'm ready.
All right. So what? You just yell?
Well,
you say something out
all right.
loud?
Well, because we want to time this, I figured a countdown would be probably appropriate.
So I hold my hand out and I end up looking at Trush and just start counting down silently
And
putting down a finger each time.
the elf woman has her bow also at the ready as well, just to kind of like looking around.
And I put down the last finger, and that is our cue to yell. So
In unison.
All right. Both of you take 10 points of physical damage as like a one sort of like happens in behind you, Trush. It like as it sort of like you sudden pain like kind of gets scraped across your back, even not necessarily penetrating your scales, but enough to like to sting. And then you also on Thor, on your side, you actually be able to, like, on your arm, you kind of have another welt that just all of a sudden appears. And I will say, with the dust that in the air, and I'll start off with the water on the ground. There is no footprints. You don't see any footprints, but within the dust in the air, you see a flicker of a humanoid size figure sort of floating in front and kind of like stabs you, Thor, in the side, and the other one in a Trush in the back. And as Dory immediately throws the dagger, who are you throwing it towards? Which one? The one towards Thor, or the one towards Trush?
Trush.
Trush?
Thor. No, I think I was whatever when the dust was when we were all.
It was all kind of surrounding you, but I think Thor would have been the closest to. Thor would have been closest to you. So you throw it. Make an attack roll.
Do we get +1
hope?
Because there's more shadows now on our Dory over there?
No, not necessarily for shadows, but I will say with this move, you did. Yeah, actually, it's an actual literal shadow. I will say the countdown as well by you doing this move, you're now down from a 5 to a 4. And what did you roll, Dory?
I rolled an 11.
11. Okay. So as you throw the dagger, the spectral, the sort of like this humanoid sort of like hidden kind of figure just kind of flickers out as the like your accuracy is pretty good, and the blade starts to kind of what goes towards the middle of the forehead, but just the spectral image just kind of like of what looks potentially like a humanoid type face flickers in and out, and the blade kind of goes through the head and out towards the other end. And even with the it kind of returning back and blinking back into your hand, there like it just it looks like that nothing ever happened. And then all of a sudden you hear from the temple a loud screech of and you hear this. Sorry, that kind of hurt my throat. Sorry.
Less Umbra for you, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, the Umbra got to my throat. And a figure in long robes with with a cloak kind of over their heads, and you see like this collar with this glowing red ruby on it start to kind of pulsate, and this figure sort of starts to float out from the temple, and says something, and just sort of floats down down the steps and standing in front of the temple. And with that, we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna see what happens after that. So,
Can I pop a potion?
Oh yeah, did we take our short rest?
no, no, you didn't.
Because the hope was that we were going to test this and it wasn't going to automatically start some ridiculous fight.
Yep.
It was supposed to be a tester to see what happens if we both make noise.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break right now. For the y'all in chat, go stretch, go hydrate, go use again the little Umbra's room, and we shall be right back with what happens next. Who is this cloaked figure? Are our players going to fight this thing, or are they going to survive? Or are we going to have a TPK by the end of the night? We're gonna see in just a little bit, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Steve had too much joy in that comment.
Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And we're back. All right, y'all. As I crack my knuckles in preparation for this, where we left off, we saw this cloaked figure. You can't make out their face, but you can see underneath their neck a collar with a red glowing gem on it, and starts to walk down the stairs coming from the temple, and walks towards the center of this main street, and screeches out loud, almost to the point where it is so almost deafening that instinctually you kind of put your hands to your ears, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna spend a fear.
I don't like that he has 9.
And I want everyone to roll an instinct reaction roll. So this is, you roll with hope and fear, but you're not you don't count hope or fear, just the total number.
May I ask a question? It's not on here, but I'm curious because I do have sensory processing under the disability that I have, autism. Does that affect anything here or no?
I would say then you would take a let's say a -2 to this roll.
Okay. Let's see. And instinct you said?
Instinct, yes.
All right, gotcha.
12.
12. Okay.
10 with fear or 10?
Yeah, it was just straight number.
Yeah, just straight number this time.
Just straight number. Yeah. So sorry, 12 and 10 with Thor. Okay. Eustace?
9.
9. Okay.
Perfect.
Trush?
8.
Okay. So the only one who actually succeeded is Trush and this elven woman. Because as this screech pierces everyone else's ears, those who have hearing loss don't the DC is halved. So everyone, you are now entranced.
Oh no.
Until you mark mark 2 stress in order to be able to clear it. And basically in trance, a target you can't act, and you are vulnerable, which means that enemies will have advantage on you, except for Trush and this elven woman. In this particular instance, now that all of a sudden you're and these spectral soldiers, or kind of similar like guard type sort of armor that are semi-transparent, have a little bit of that. They're kind of a coloration of red, and they kind of glow, and they also start to attack, and they can actually be able to. There's at least 3 of them that are going to be able to attack all of you, yeah, I'm gonna have them all basically mark a stress to be able to get a +1 to their roll.
This is where Steve is excited for all of the buttons.
I
that
do
he has.
have.
And
I was gonna say. I have a. In the response to the scream, I was wondering, is there a way that I could use my class feature?
What would be your class feature that you want to use?
The Guardian class feature is called Unstoppable. It says once per long rest, you can become unstoppable. You gain an unstoppable die at level 1. Your die is a D4. Place it on your character sheet and above. It was starting with value 1, and then after you make a damage roll that deals 1 or more hit points to a target, increase the unstoppable die value by 1. So then that just keeps on going up, but then there's benefits for becoming unstoppable, which is reduce severity of physical damage by 1 threshold, severe to major, major to minor, minor to none. You add the current value of the unstoppable die to your damage roll. That's why the increase in, so V1. And then it's you can't be restrained or vulnerable.
I would say you probably wouldn't be able to get it off at this particular moment, because you are affected by this reach. Again, you can't act, and you're currently vulnerable.
Okay.
Unless you are able to mark a stress, but because it's still my turn, essentially, I don't. You can do that. It will not work in this particular situation to get you out of the having to clear stress or 2 stress. So, all right. So so Dory, does a 20 hit you?
Does a 20 hit me?
Okay, I know. Who the heck has more than 20? Oh my gosh.
I rolled really well on that.
Level 1. Yeah, a 20 definitely hits my 13.
So you take 10 points of damage, and then Eustace, does a 9 hit you?
I have an evasion of 7, so yes.
Okay, so you take 16 points of damage.
Oh, can I mark that with armor slots?
You can. So that is the one thing. If you have armor slots, you could be able to use 1 armor slot to bring the threshold down by 1. So if you are in major damage, you can use an armor to be able to bring that down to a minor, or from minor to basically nothing. So I would say that's for Dory. You can be able to use that as well if you want to build. If you have any armor you want to spend. All right, and then Thor.
Now, does that only take both slots? Like, I use...
No, you only use 1 armor slot.
Oh, I still take that 1 damage.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
You just probably just went down, if you want to use the armor, you basically go for, like, I assume you would have went to major damage. So yeah, you could bring that that threshold from 2 damage to 1 damage, 1 hit point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you roll, curiosity, if I am not wearing armor, can I still use an armor slot?
If you do not have any armor to spend, you unfortunately do not have anything to spend to bring down that score. So you, does a 14 hit you, Thor?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's going to take all my HP.
Wait, you can only take one hit point?
Literally 1 hit point. I am on that death move, baby.
Okay, I won't roll for it, because if it would have definitely, even if I rolled a 3, it still would have been in your minor damage. So I will say, okay, so now that you're down, okay, you have the choice of 3 types of death saves. Okay, you can either go out in a blaze of glory, which basically you can do whatever move you want, and you basically get an automatic critical success, which basically means you get to whatever move you're doing, whatever attack you're doing, you take basically whatever that die is. So say an example, if it's basically a D8 plus 2, you literally you max out that one die. So you max it with 8 points. You roll another D8, you add on top of that, and then add the 2, and that's a critical success. And you can basically do whatever you want. But once that move is done, you're dead. Or you can take option 2. You can go unconscious, which basically you cannot the only way to be able to wake up from unconscious is either someone comes to heal you, or you take a long rest. But if you do come back, you basically you have to hold on, I actually have to double check that. There is something to be able to do for gaining a scar.
Scarring?
There was an additional thing. I can't remember if it was marking stress or if it was or if it's a roll on the die. I think it's a roll on the die. And
roll your hope die. If its value is equal to or under your character's level, they gain a scar.
There you go, character's level. So basically, you gain a scar no matter what. Or 3, you can leave it up to fate. You roll your duality die, and if your hope is higher, you're back up, and you can be able to use that number on the hope die to distribute between your health points and your stress points. But if you roll higher on fear, you're dead.
So I like a little chaotic energy, so I actually have an interesting proposition. Chat, 1, 2, or 3. What are we doing?
Okay, I love it when we can go a little spicy. This is great. So
Listen, chat participation, baby.
So chat, you have the power in your hands right now. For those watching this later on, we are streaming this on Twitch, both on twitch.tv/Steve Saylor, on L-Bell, on Mike the Quad, on Thormagander, and also General Andrews. Make sure to go follow them on Twitch as well. But basically, you roll 1, put a 1 in the chat for Blaze of Glory, 2 for going unconscious, or 3, just leave it to fate. So
Now,
1, 2, or 3 in the chat.
Now, I will just put it out there. There is a chance that somebody in this could heal me if you choose 2. But 1 means we're going out, and 3 is just chaos.
Yeah, just to let you know, Blaze of Glory, it's 1 move. That's it. It's a good move, but that's it. There's nothing else to be able to bring them back.
Is the party allowed to vote?
Yes.
Could, yeah.
Question before I vote. Are we able to, the items that are on Thor now, are we able to use their heal potion on them?
Only if they decide to go unconscious.
But if they do decide to go unconscious, then
yeah,
for
this
example,
death
I could
save is
grab the heal
happening.
potion and use it.
This death save is happening. There's nothing that anyone can do about it right now.
No, what I meant is that if they chose unconscious, can I use their heal potion? Because I don't have a heal potion, I have a stamina potion.
If they have, if you know that they have a heal potion, then yes, I will allow it.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of 3s in the chat though. I'll see a lot of 3s. I see some. I see a few 2s.
The party's voting 2. And everyone else is voting 3 or 1.
I see, okay. Well, hold on. Now we're getting into the point. Okay, I see. I see Mike. Okay, we see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2 so far. Mike with the 3. I'll count it. So 1.
No, 3 equals 2.
3, 4, 5, 6. I see 6 3s, and I see 1, 2, 3, 1. So far, I'm gonna give it another 10 seconds. So far, 3s is what's winning right now. I'll change for 3 to a 2 if allowed. Sure. Yes. So basically, we're down to 5 3s and 4 2s.
So I guess I get a vote, right? I get 1 vote.
You're the one. Hey, you're the one who put it up to chat. No, you don't. I'm saying it right now. So we got a time. We got 2 or 3. We got 1. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're currently tied with 3 or 2. Thor, you get. I will allow you, if you want to be able to add an additional thing of fate. I will roll a D4.
Evens.
Evens
is which number?
Evens, you decide. Odds,
right.
I decide.
Oh, I hate it.
Okay, I'm just gonna I'm gonna take out my dice. I'm actually gonna put the this is like kind of like Dimension 20 like Box of Doom situation. So I'm gonna roll
no.
I'm gonna roll this
This is the
above the
special
table.
dice.
Here we go.
Oh,
It's a
I
3.
think the 3.
So what are you doing, DM?
What are you picking, Steve?
What's your poison, darling?
I did ask yesterday. How deadly do you want to make this? They all said that they're like, as soon like, you know, we're fine up until we get to the boss fight. So I'm gonna say it right now. Roll.
So, all right. So what am I rolling?
You roll your hope and your fear die. If you get higher on hope. You come back and you can distribute that number to clear stress and to be able to heal you at whatever hit points you want.
Hopes
If you
in
roll
chat.
Alright.
if you roll fear,
Hopes in
you're
chat.
dead.
Hopes in chat. Hopes in chat.
I rolled 9 hope and 6 fear for
There
a
you
total of
go.
14. Let's go.
You didn't sound excited enough, so I was worried.
There you go. So you get to distribute 9 points to stress and your hit points. So you get whatever you want to use. Just distribute it however you feel like. Wow.
So like, does that mean reducing,
Wow.
like bringing it back?
Yeah, literally, you can heal yourself with that 9 hit points. With
Okay.
both heal your stress or heal your or heal your health
My
points.
HP is healed. Okay, we're back, baby. Now, do I roll for a scar?
No, that was only if you go unconscious.
Wow.
So you're fine. You're totally fine. You're back to full health now. So
And then where do we find our health on our sheet here?
it would be
On the
Upper left-hand corner.
Side, yeah, upper left hand.
yes, yeah. You'll see like a little box that says HP and stress, and those slots that are there, those little rectangles, those are your how many blocks of health you have. So. Count however many you have. That's how many you have.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Heart
okay.
racing.
Yeah,
I
mine
see
too.
what you're saying
Mine
now.
too.
Okay.
So now you're so that is basically that is my go. I would say that normally I would go because you failed, but you succeeded with a hope. So I leave it up to now. It is now the 4U turn. What do you want to do? There are now 3 spectral guards that are kind of surrounding you. They're that are glowing red, and then there's this cloaked figure again, just kind of within about I'd say far range from where you are, and the spectral guards are within close to very close or melee range because some actually that had came in to be able to hit you 3, and yeah, so. And I would say because of the attacks like Trush and the elf woman, you were able to dodge out of the way because you weren't affected by the screech. Okay. Yeah. So right now, what do y'all do? Right now, you are vulnerable and you cannot act unless you clear 2 stress. I would say actually for Thor, because you woke up, you are not in trance, so you can be able to do whatever you want right now.
And I was gonna say I've cleared that stress using the.
Yep. So you're fine. You're not in trance.
I'm spending the stress.
I have a question. Can I go around and slap people to get them out of stress?
No. I don't think that's how that works. Let me look it up. We'll see.
Stop being in trance.
Stop it right now.
So so the best you can be able to do is this is what you can spend your hope on. I should probably mention this as well. This will for the audience for chat as well. So you can spend a hope to help an ally, utilize an experience, initiate a tag team roll, or activate a hope feature. There are some features for certain characters and classes that have specific things that you have to spend a hope in order to be able to do. That's what you can spend a hope on. And helping an ally, basically, you have to describe what you are doing to actually help, and then you roll a d6, and that gets added to the other person's, the ally's total roll. So right now, Trush and Thor, you're totally fine. Again, there's 3 spectral guardians around you. Dory and Eustace, what are you doing?
I spent my stress to snap out of it.
Snap out of it. Okay. All right. And what about you, Eustace?
Just a mechanic question.
Yes.
Once we start getting maxed out on stress, it starts
So when you
damage of HP, right?
If you if anything that like anything that you have to mark a stress for, if you already at full stress, you mark a hit point instead.
Okay.
So,
Where are you at on stress, Dory?
5 out of 6.
Because I have a D4 stamina potion that I could toss your way.
that would clear
I've got a
stress.
health potion.
Health potion would only clear HP. A stamina potion will
Yeah, no, I
only
know.
clear stress.
But I'm just pointing out that I have a health potion for anyone that needs it too.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna. In the meantime, she can decide what she wants to do with it. I'm gonna chuck the stamina potion to Dory.
Okay.
As quietly as possible, of course.
I think at this point it's that you could. Yeah, it's.
I didn't know if they get automatic attacks by making loud
Yeah.
noises. I
No,
didn't know
you
if there
now
was, like,
you
okay.
realize that basically that it's the spectral guards that have been the ones that have been attacking you, and you can kind of see that they're kind of glowing this like glowing red. That's what they're.
Do they all have a gem? Can I see that from where we are? Do they all have like a gem around their throat-ish area?
roll an instinct roll for me?
Is it like a gem on a? Is it embedded in their body, or is it a gem that is hang off a chain of some kind?
Well, this will determine what Trush's instinct roll would be.
All right, so I got a 10 with hope.
10 with hope. Okay. There is no you can't see if there's any like gem in this, like you can kind of see through this, like they're basically ghosts. You can't see you can see through them. There's no gem embedded in them at all. But you do notice they are glowing the same shade of red as the collar on the cloaked figure's neck.
So
And because of that, you basically brought down the countdown from 4 to 3.
Ooh,
Oh, what is the countdown?
that's good.
This is a good countdown. This is a good countdown. You
Okay.
want
Yeah, we
this
want
to go.
that.
You want this to count down.
Oh, okay.
Then since with that knowledge in play, do I, or hopefully even Thorkara, do we have the knowledge to know what this might mean? That because in my mind, I'm thinking that we can't really officially destroy these guards. That these guards are more than likely just apparitions that the main body controls. That's gonna be my assumption here.
I mean, yeah. If you want to, I would say with that roll, I mean, I think you kind of surmise that that's like a good theory. Whether or not that's 100% true, I think.
And I guess there's one way to test it. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna try punching one of the ghosts in the face.
Okay, go for it.
That sounds just like Thorkara.
All right, so let's roll. So all right, it's punching time. So let's see. That's gonna be 14 with fear.
Okay,
Ooh.
I gain a fear, and unfortunately, 14 misses.
Ooh.
So
What?
Yeah.
All right. Can I follow up?
No, so I'm gonna spend a fear to bring the spotlight to me, and I will say, and I'm gonna spend another fear to basically to attack you, Thor, at least the one that's that you tried to hit, okay, I'm gonna roll. I am clearing the fear, so that's a good thing too. If I don't have any fear to spend, I can't do any special stuff. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I rolled a natural 1, so you are totally you are totally fine.
Wow,
so I wasted that whole
one's
fear
a
for
chef.
nothing. So now it's back to you. Back to you all 4. What do you want to do? Dory, Eustace, anything you want to do in this particular moment?
while you're doing your things, I just want to also utilize my unique hope feature for Warrior Hope. If I spend 3 hope, I get a gain +1 bonus to your attack rolls until my next rest.
Okay, yeah, then go for it. Yeah.
That's
Cool.
cool. I want to move within close range of the main guy, and I'm aiming my returning blade at the choker.
Okay, yeah. I would say, yeah, I think you can be able to get within that. I think even, are you using like your shadow ability to do this, or?
Not if I don't have to.
Okay, I think you're like you can go. You're pretty like you're at. I would say based on kind of where you are, you're from close to far. So yeah, you can be. Excuse me, you can be able to make it for that. So yeah, roll for attack.
Okay.
Let's see if maybe get like a little bit of a.
And remember, you have a stamina potion I gave you. You can use
Yes.
whenever.
I do want to use that. I also want to use my rogue hope, but I don't know how many things I can do in one turn.
I think
You
Steve
can do
said
is
unless he
again.
interrupts
You can do
Okay.
anything. I'm the only one who can interrupt and spend a fear for that. But and generally, if you roll with fear, that means I can be able to take that spotlight. But it's up to it's all up to you. It's basically the more
Okay,
hope
so-
you roll, the more momentum y'all have. Basically.
Right.
Ollie, I'll put it like
So-
this. Do you want a tag team?
do it.
I mean, I'm down for tag teaming, but I'm going to also say, as I'm moving,
Yeah.
I am bringing in my hope to myself and just being like, we've got this, seeing Thorkara basically rise back from unconsciousness. And I will spend 3 hope to add 2 evasion.
Oh, to add to your evasion? Oh, you have that ability?
So yeah.
That's
Rogue
awesome.
Dodge, spend 3 hope to gain +2 bonus to your evasion until the next time an attack succeeds against you.
Okay.
Otherwise, this bonus lasts until a long rest.
Okay. All right. So basically, if I succeed in it, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes,
Cool.
So my evasion is now 15 right now.
Cool.
No.
All right. Yeah. What'd you roll for your attack roll?
19 with hope.
19 with hope. That hits. Roll damage.
Nice.
Oh,
Let's go. Come on.
Oh.
Hope.
Let's go.
I know. A D8. Come on, D8. That's 3.
3. Okay. And you were aiming directly for the collar. Is that what you were doing for? Okay. I will say you throw towards the collar, and you basically let the blade kind of like pings off against the gem, and as it returns back to you, you could see that there I think even with that, like how close you were, you can see that there is brighter light, kind of like a faint line across the gem that it's as if there's energy kind of being pulsating through that gem, and it's a bit cracked. They still took damage, but it's at least the collar specifically took damage. But
I'm so sorry, Thor. I know that you wanted to go together on that. I'm so sorry.
No, I wasn't even that. Just in general. I wasn't asking on that. I was just asking in general. Because we don't have turns.
And I will say, even with that, also that ping off the gem, you can see that the spectral guards kind of like they flicker from red just for like a split second. They flicker from red to blue.
Okay. I'm gonna whisper, aim for the choker. Aim for the gem.
Who are you facing towards when you say this?
Because it depends on how
And I can read the lips, so it's just
I'm
fine.
close-ish, so I'll turn towards all of you and be like, aim for the gem
Gotcha.
All
as
right.
much as possible.
Well, you roll with
Do you still have any?
you roll with
Sorry.
hope. So keep like what do you all want to do next?
So are we? Am I close? Sorry, go on, Trush.
Eustace, do you still have another one of those forceful pushes left?
I do. I am just still currently under vulnerable state.
Oh, that's right.
I guess, do I need to? Can I just go ahead and just start marking that down, just to
The way to
stress,
clear
right?
it is so you can get back. You can start to do stuff. Is you just mark
Right.
2 stress.
And so now I'm pretty good and able to kind of like
Yep, you're
respond
now
and
able to
do
act.
all
Yep.
that stuff.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So if you want to
I
roll
do
the
have-
unstoppable, you can not now. You can be able to do so if you still wanted to be able to do
Oh,
that,
okay.
or do a forceful push, whatever you
Perfect,
want to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, so I am probably, as coming back out of that, marking out of the vulnerable state, I kind of see that I don't want to be back into that state. So then that's when I invoke my unstoppable
Okay.
class feature.
Yeah.
So that pops up. In reference to forceful push, I can still do that. I just need to get in range, because that's also what I'm curious at. Like, what is the distance between? Am I in melee range?
You're in
or-
melee range with at least one of the special guards, and then you're within very close range with the other 2, and then the cloaked figure is within far range from you.
Far range. Okay, gotcha. So I want to since I am in unstoppable right now. Oh, I have my tower shield. So if I want to switch back to my chair, the heavy frame chair.
Yep.
Do I just go ahead and mark a stress and then switch?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Now I'm at 4 out of 6. That's okay. That's okay. Like we say in Magic, life is a resource, or stress is a resource now. Yeah, I want to go ahead at least like. I'm gonna have to make a melee attack first in order for me to do the forceful push.
Yeah.
But it would be directed right at the apparition that Dory was. We seem to make like some type of possible damage or something to the collar itself.
Oh, you want to do
So,
to the collar? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know if my melee would hit, but then the forceful push is probably what we're trying to for me.
I would say as actually
I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, I would say that actually as you start to kind of like rev up your chair, ready to kind of like to do to kind of roll for an attack to do a forceful push. I would say that actually the elf woman who's been basically pumping arrows in trying to build to the spectral, and there's it's like they're going through and they're kind of being phased in and out, but there's not there's like you're not able to tell whether it's doing any damage or not, but she sees you going towards the cloaked figure, and she realizes what she wants to do, and then she kind of like points at you, and then just kind of spins her arm and to kind of like to go forward, and she immediately starts to pull her bow, and she's going to spend her only 3 hope to do a tag team with you.
Beautiful. That's
So
what I was hoping
that
for.
basically, so that you, in a way that you're kind of the distraction with the force push, and she's going to try to be able to pierce that gem. So this is what I get to finally roll the hope and duality die.
Yay!
Yeah.
Hope.
Yeah. So my purple is going to be my hope, and my black is going to be my fear. So Eustace, you roll for your attack, and then I'm going to roll for mine.
Okay.
And
that's a single D12.
nope, that's your duality. So just your regular, kind of like your regular attack.
Oh, that is a 20 on fear.
20 on fear. Okay. I rolled a 5 on fear. So we're gonna take your roll because you had that one is the more of the success. So you roll damage for yours, and I'm gonna roll damage for mine, and we add them together to the total score.
Okay, so do I do one for my primary and then
You do
also one
whatever
for
that
the
force push,
forceful?
whatever you're gonna do is that force push. That's what we're basically doing together.
Oh, okay, force push. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna.
Plus
I rolled a 7.
Hope.
No,
Okay,
you can't spend a hope. This is specifically whatever
okay.
your damage die is, or whatever your damage is.
For the because if the force blow requires me to do a D6, am I supposed to do the D12 one for the primary?
Oh no, if I would say yeah, because you're using your wheelchair, use your wheelchair stats for that. So whatever damage your wheelchair can do.
Gotcha. Oh, 11, 15.
Okay, I rolled a 7, so that is 20. That is 22 damage, which
Wow.
is exactly like enough to be able to as you kind of like race forward towards the cloaked figure. They were able to like they weren't able to see you kind of coming because you're able to grease up your wheels, so you were kind of quiet. And as you race and you ram into them, and they kind of like go full back, their head just kind of like tilts back in kind of in reaction to the being hit, and as like it exposes the gem on her collar, and it's just enough for, even with her rolling poorly, it's just enough of a larger target to be able to use her arrow, and she pierces the gem on the collar, and the gem breaks, sending out a shock-wave of energy across, and the spectral guards are now they've gone from red to blue, and the collar basically falls onto the ground in ruins. You've now lowered the countdown tie from 3 to 2, and now the spectral guards they're still kind of like they're kind of confused for like a second, but because we did roll with fear, I'm gonna take that fear to be able to spotlight on the guards themselves for a second, because one of the guards kind of you start to see a little bit more clearly of what the spectral guards kind of look like, because they were just kind of like flickering in and out, so you weren't able to really see who they were. It was just sort of a faceless sort of guard. But then they start to come into focus, and you see this elven male with basically a scar across their face, and a very manicured white beard, and a long white ponytail, similar facial features to this elven woman. And she looks towards the spectral guard, and she drops her bow and kind of puts her hand to her face, and starts weeping, and you can see, like, you can hear, this is the first time you're able to hear her actual voice, and it's just barely above a whisper, and it's hard to be able to articulate. But she goes, "Father," and she just drops to her knees. Then the other spectral ghosts flicker out of existence, and you hear again this loud screech coming from this cloaked figure, but nothing happens. It's just coming from her directly, and it's not as loud and it's not as piercing as it was before. And she retreats back into the church, and I'm going to spend another hope to be able to do that, to get away from Eustace, and all that's left is this spectral guard standing in front of this elf woman who is on her knees. And that basically brings the countdown from 2 to 1. Where's 1? There we go. 1. And and the town goes eerily quiet. And as it goes from quiet to murmurs, to whispers, two townsfolk coming out of their homes and seeing the four of you and the other woman and still the guard standing there. He rests his hands on her shoulders and gently puts a spectral hand underneath her chin to lift her face up and strokes her cheek with her hand. And as she tries to be able to reach her hand to be able to touch his, it goes through and rests her hand on her cheek. And then the guard evaporates into thin air. It's quiet for a moment. She wipes her tears from her eyes and on her cheek, kind of gathers herself and stands up. And she looks over to you, Trush, and then to each one of you. And Trush, in sign, says, "Thank you. My name is Isla."
And then I want to sign back, "You're welcome. We leave no one behind."
She then signs back, "Our home is your home, as long as you need it." And we fade to black. And that is it for our adventure.
Yay!
Whoa!
Emotion!
Oh.
Trauma!
Wow.
Dead.
GG, Steve. That was a great story.
Yeah,
Thank
GG's to you all. Y'all did fantastic. Actually, you were able to get down that countdown clock really quickly that I didn't expect. I was ready to just I had things to unleash on y'all.
Oh, do we get to know what those things were?
You could have, yeah. I'll just say it. Basically, it was a war wizard, and she had a lot of stuff. She could have done some nasty things to y'all, but she just never really got a chance to do it. She was relying on her collar. Anyway, I will say we're gonna end this here, at least for the VOD is concerned. But we could maybe we'll stick around and kind of do some debrief a little bit for Twitch chat. If you want to be able to follow along with us whenever we do these streams, hopefully this is the first of many across all of our streams together. Make sure to follow us on Twitch. Our links will be in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube. But make sure, Steve, at Steve Saylor, at L Bell, at Mike the Quad, at Thormangander, and at General Andrews. But before I before we kind of go into debrief, I'm just going to do a quick extra of thank you all for playing, for being here, you chat, and also for those watching. I'm Steve Saylor. You can find me at Steve Saylor on all socials. You can also be able to find this show, Dungeons and Disabled, at dungeonsanddisabled.com. We basically are a bunch of disabled folks that we play ttrpgs. We used to be just D&D, but now we're playing Daggerheart too. So hopefully you enjoyed this adventure, and make sure to follow me at Steve Saylor. And Ellie, why don't you tell us where we can be able to find you online?
Hi everyone, thank you so much. My name is Elbel or Ellie. You can find me everywhere at Elbel, but it's spelled with a 3 Llebelle. I'm sorry if you can hear the cat that sounds.
And
like
no, that's fine. The fact that she was able to stay quiet the entire time is great.
Yeah, no, that was good. She did great.
Because my cousin's home, so
okay.
I haven't seen her in 3 days. So you can find me across the internet that way, spelled Elbel. I primarily stream on Twitch, and I have ADHD, so does my content. We jump around a lot. We do a lot of different things. Currently, I'm obsessed with Final Fantasy 14, but I love survival crafters. I love platformers. I also play a lot of Kaizo Mario. Every video game that we play, we are always talking about accessibility. We're also talking about advocacy for disabilities as well, and specifically highlighting that quite a lot this month for Disability Pride Month. So thank you so much, Steve, for giving us a platform and creating all of these things for us to be able to show off how disability mechanics can work in tabletop RPGs. And it was a very lovely honor to share this table with these incredible people. So thank you.
This is great. Yeah, no, it's my absolute pleasure and honor. Thor, why don't we tell us where people can be able to find you?
Well, everybody, you can find me across socials as Thormingander. Mostly, you can find that spelled in the chat with my username, or Thormingander_TTV, because some people do not like me and took it 14 years ago. But that's besides the point. You can find me playing all types of video games with alternative controllers, such as actual potatoes. Yes, I just have that sitting on my desk. Steering wheels, DK bongos, DDR pads, and more for games like Elden Ring, which we're currently going through. That's been my focus more recently. And we'll be doing Lies of P. But later tonight, you can also catch me after this stream doing some fun stream with Monster Hunter Wilds title updates on a regular controller, I know, and also some Gaggle TV, giving some viewers some chances to win money. So that's what we'll be doing. And you can catch me Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays at 4 p.m. and on Monday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Except I'll be out for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to SGDQ.
Awesome. Mike, we're going to be able to find you, sir.
All right, y'all can find me live on Twitch. Next time is going to be on Friday. We're going to be playing some Mecha Break and getting our robot Gundam on. I love playing sweaty games. That's what most of our content is over on my channel. A lot of it is also focused on accessibility, and in specific with people who have motor dexterity. So we play on different types of adaptive controllers, like the PlayStation and the Xbox adaptive controllers. Also, I think I'll be able to play with the stylus on this Mecha Break. We'll test things out. So tune in on Friday. And besides that, you know, other content is a lot of tabletop RPG, mostly with Steve, with Dungeons and Disabled, and more recently, a lot of Magic the Gathering, as everyone here can attest to.
Absolutely, definitely. You enabled a lot of that addiction for a lot of us in part. So, yeah, awesome. Thanks, Mike. And last but again, certainly not least, Jen.
All right, well, I guess this is the moment I can finally wear my typical garb.
There you go. There you go.
There we go.
Oh, quick,
We don't
plus
have
5,
hair
cool.
anymore.
Yeah,
Where'd it go?
I was like, where did Jen go?
This is a helmet I have on, so +5 charisma. So
I'll wear a hat too. Because just why not? Yeah.
all right, excellent. Look at that.
don't
See,
have one.
+10 charisma.
There we
were
go.
doing it great.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on.
For those that don't know who I am, I'm General Andrews on all the platforms. I stream primarily on Twitch. I do a lot of nostalgia-driven content, retro aesthetic, retro adjacent. John Cena, you can't see him. Don't worry.
No, you can't see me.
Yeah, so you can't see him. And so I do a lot of that, ranging from speedrunning, challenge runs. When I do full game playthroughs, they are backseating is 100% allowed in my channel. With that being said, though, also we have this really fun thing that we do on Thursday nights with crowd control called Chat versus Speedrunners. And it is where chat tries to, whatever game we have on tap, chat tries to use crowd control to stop me from hitting a very particular timed goal. If they do, they get a reward. The current reward is actually a whole week consecutive of streaming. So that will be happening on Thursday night of this week.
Awesome. Cool. I love that. For a second, I thought, Thor, you did have like a green hat that you just were wearing. It was like so perfect.
But,
and I'm like, wow, Adele, where'd you get that red hat from? I don't know. Anyway.
That might be Jen's extra hat that lives at this house.
It's true.
Exactly. Anyway, thank you all for joining us today. Stick around if you want to be on stream. We'll speak chat for a little bit, but for at least for the VOD, thank you all for joining us. You'll be able to find more disabled adventures at dungeonsanddisableds.com once again. Or you can be able to buy merch. We have our own merch at dungeonsanddisableds.store. All right, take care, everyone, and we'll see you all very soon.